Chapter 1299. Chapter 1299. Negotiation. At most, we'll just fight to the death. Jean-Ba wasn't afraid of the two pill puppets. Now, no one dared to use their essence chi, and no one dared to move easily. The two pill puppets wanted to order him around? It was like a joke. You. Hearing Jean-Ba's words, the two pill puppets gnashed their teeth. Jean-Ba was right. They didn't dare to use their yuan chi or move. What about you? Come over if you can. The Dark Emperor cooperated with Jean-Ba. He rolled his eyes and said, Your grandfather is standing right here. I guarantee that he won't even frown. Fine, fine. You win. Helpless, the two pill puppets could only give up. They didn't have the guts to teach the Dark Emperor and Jean-Ba a lesson. Whoosh. As time passed, the Stone Beast army seemed to be getting more and more agitated. At this rate, the Stone Beasts would charge in at any moment. At that time, the pill puppets, the Dark Emperor, and the rest would all be trampled into pieces. We have to think of a way. The Dark Emperor and Jean-Ba exchanged glances and saw the anxiety in each other's eyes. The situation was urgent and they had to resolve it as soon as possible. Hey, nondescript fellows, after our consideration, we feel that it's not a bad idea to enter the three-stone cave first, but you'll have to pay a small price. The Dark Emperor raised his brows. What conditions? The two pill puppets' eyes lit up. We don't want much. Just give us some pure yuan chi. The Dark Emperor said. Here. One of the pill puppets flicked his wrist and threw a crystal ball to the Dark Emperor. There's a large amount of pure yuan chi in this crystal ball. It's enough for you to cultivate to the 5th grade. In the pill puppet's opinion, even if they gave everything they had to the Dark Emperor wouldn't be able to escape. Supremacy Bali and the rest were in the depths of the three-stone cave. The Dark Emperor and Jean-Ba would definitely encounter them once they entered. At that time, would Supremacy Bali let them go? The answer was no. Therefore, the pill puppet didn't hesitate and gave all the pure yuan chi he had to the Dark Emperor. Gotcha. After receiving the crystal ball, the Dark Emperor threw it into his mouth without a word. Seeing the Dark Emperor's actions, the corners of the two elixir puppets' mouths twitched at the same time. The crystal ball that they had given to the Dark Emperor contained a boundless amount of essence energy. Even if the Dark Emperor was a purple gold sky devouring hound, it would still be a little too much, right? Very good, thank you. The Dark Emperor nodded at the two pill puppets. Then, he stomped on the ground and quickly flew toward the three-stone cave. Whoosh! Jean-Ba followed closely behind the Dark Emperor. Should we go in? Seeing that the Dark Emperor and Jean-Ba had safely entered the three-stone cave, the two pill puppets spoke in unison. Let's go in. The two Dawn were not fools. Since the Dark Emperor and Jean-Ba could enter the three-stone cave safely, it meant that they could as well. If they stayed any longer, there was no telling when the stone beasts would go berserk. Therefore, entering the three-stone cave now was the best choice. Xiao. These two Danmats were not indecisive Danmat. They left as soon as they said they would. Their feet stepped on the ground and they quickly rushed into the depths of the three-stone caves. Rumble. However, right at this moment, an unexpected change occurred. The large number of stone beasts outside the three-stone cave dispersed, creating a wide path. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, several stone beasts flew over from afar and rushed toward the three-stone cave at a shocking speed. Shit. Let's go. The two myriad bone cave Danmats turned pale with fright. They used all their strength and rushed toward the depths of the three-stone cave. Bang! Bang! However, the myriad bone cave Danmats were only at the peak of the 9th grade human supreme realm. How could their speed catch up to the powerful stone beasts? Those stone beasts were all at the half-step Earth supreme realm. After flying for tens of steps, the two myriad bone cave Danmats were hit in the chest by a huge force and slammed into the wall. The result of falling to the ground in front of the stone beast army was obvious. The 2 myriad bone cave Dan mats were stomped into pieces and died on the spot. At the same time, the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba had already escaped to the depths of the 3-stone cave. However, seeing the large number of Dan mats in front of them, the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba immediately stopped and their faces turned pale. When the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba flew at full speed, they could naturally sense the stone beasts outside the 3-stone cave. There were wolves in front and tigers behind. They were in an extremely dangerous situation. Dark Emperor Jean Ba, not good. In the deepest part of the 3-stone cave, Ningyu saw the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba and was overjoyed. However, when Ningyu saw the stone beast army behind the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba, his expression changed and he shouted, "Watch out! Stop!" The Stone King was caught off guard by the sudden opportunity. As the leader of the stone beasts, the Stone King quickly reacted and said in a low voice, "Stand back. No one is allowed to attack without my permission." Whoosh! The Stone King issued an order. As soon as he spoke, the stone beast army stopped. Whoosh! Seeing the stone beast army stop, the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba heaved a sigh of relief. The situation just now had given them a fright. If the stone beast army had charged at them with full force, they would have been killed instantly. If they didn't die, there was no chance of survival. Hee, Supremacy Bali, do you still want to flatten the 3-stone cave? The Stone King smiled and said to Supremacy Bali, "With a single command from me, this place will become hell on earth." Supremacy Bali's face was dark and gloomy. No one knew what he was thinking. He didn't expect the Stone King to have such power in the 3-stone mountain. Supremacy Bali knew that there were many stone beasts in the 3-stone mountain, but he didn't expect there to be so many half-step Earth Supreme stone beasts. In his opinion, it was already good enough that the 3-stone mountain could nurture one Earth Supreme. Who would have thought that there would be so many half-step Earth Supreme stone beasts? There must be treasures in the 3-stone mountain. Supremacy Bali's eyes lit up at the thought. He couldn't miss this opportunity. Stone King, aren't you afraid that the Black Dog and Jean Ba will die during the battle? Supremacy Bali shrugged. What am I afraid of? If they die, so be it. It has nothing to do with me. The Stone King's words were directed at Ningyu. The Stone King wanted to know how important the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba were to Ningyu. Stone King, I hope you can protect the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba. Ningyu naturally knew what the Stone King meant. If you can save the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba, I can plead on your behalf and let the sapling help you take human form. No, I need a branch. The Stone King clearly didn't want to agree to Ningyu's request. The Stone King wasn't a fool. If Ningyu didn't use the sapling right away, it meant that there was something wrong with it. This was the best time to take advantage of the situation. If he missed this opportunity, he wouldn't get another one. Chapter 1300. To slaughter the heavens and destroy the earth. This is extortion. Ningyu began to bargain. There were only 2 branches on the sapling's body, and one of them was severely damaged. If the sapling were to give up a branch at this time, it would undoubtedly aggravate its injuries. It doesn't matter to me, but whether your 2 friends survive or not doesn't have much to do with me. The king of the Stone Nation looked very confident. Voila! At the same time, the half-step Earth Sovereign stone beasts behind the Dark Emperor and Jean Ba took a step forward. The king of the Stone Nation was putting on a show for Ningyu, forcing Ningyu to submit. I can only fight for a small branch for you. A whole branch is impossible. Ningyu said in a low voice, you should know that we have the ability to leave this place. At worst, we can find a place to hide and wait for the sapling to completely recover. Then, we can come back and destroy the 3-stone cave. You're threatening me. The king of the Stone Nation said coldly. If you really want to think of it that way, just take it as a threat. Ningyu shrugged and said, a small branch is the best result I can get for you. Don't push your luck. Remember what you said. The king of the Stone Nation knew that he couldn't push Ningyu too hard. If Ningyu really left with the sapling, he would never get the branch of the World Tree. Don't worry, I can swear an oath to the heavens. If I do not give you a small branch, you can kill the Dark Emperor and Zhanba at any time. Ningyu nodded and said. The reason why Ningyu dared to raise this condition was because the sapling told him that losing a small branch was no big deal. It just so happened that one of the sapling's branches had broken off, so it needed to give up a small branch. Originally, the sapling planned to give the branch it cut off to Ningyu to strengthen Ningyu's body. Since the Dark Emperor was in danger, using the branch to save the Dark Emperor was not a bad idea. Take that black dog and that man away. The king of the Stone Nation watched as Ningyu made the heavenly oath and ordered a half-step Earth Sovereign Stone Beast to bring the Dark Emperor and Zhanba out of the Three-Stone Cave. The king of the Stone Nation chose to take the Dark Emperor and Zhanba away, on one hand to save them, and on the other to threaten Ningyu. You're smart. Venerable Bali knew who was more important, so he watched as the stone beast took away the Dark Emperor and Zhanba. He did not stop it. I don't need you to judge whether I'm smart or not. The king of the Stone Nation said proudly, your life and death are in your own hands. One word, retreat or fight. The king of the Stone Nation had nothing to worry about. In terms of top combat power, he was not weaker than the Myriad Bone Cave. He and Venerable Bali were both first-grade Earth Sovereigns, and their strengths were on par with each other. As for the remaining half-step Earth Supremes, his side even had the advantage. If he didn't even dare to fight Venerable Bali and the others, then he could really go home and plant sweet potatoes. Fight! Venerable Bali wasn't a pushover either. Go deal with the stone beasts outside. Leave the Stone King to me. Swish! Venerable Bali charged out as he spoke. Crack, crack, crack. The king of the Stone Nation's formation had no effect on Venerable Bali's speed. Even for a second, he was unable to block it. Venerable Bali was a formation master, and his attainments in formations were profound. For the king of the Stone Nation to set up a formation that could trap him was more difficult than ascending to the heavens. Take this. Venerable Bali raised his brows and waved his hands. A small vortex appeared in the air and charged at the king of the Stone Nation. It's a formation. Ningyu frowned when he saw Venerable Bali's vortex. It was a little scary. A pill puppet that could set up a formation with a flip of its hand and use it to attack must have a high status among the pill puppets. Sapling, how much longer do you need to recover? Ningyu didn't want to get involved in the battle between the king of the Stone Nation and Venerable Bali. He took a few steps back and communicated with the sapling. I'm not sure. At least a day, at most half a year, the sapling replied. Too slow. Is there any other way to speed it up? Ningyu shook his head. The battle was intense, and the sapling needed to recover as soon as possible. Although Ningyu could fuse the Myriad Bestial Flame and the Myriad Bone Flame, it could only be used once at a critical moment. Moreover, Ningyu wouldn't be able to kill Venerable Bali by fusing the two flames. He had to find an opportunity. It's not impossible for me to recover as soon as possible, the sapling said. What is it? Ningyu hurriedly asked. It's simple. Find me a large amount of heaven and earth treasures and let me devour them, the sapling said. I don't want that. Ningyu was so angry that his nose was crooked. They were trapped in the Three-Stone Cave. Where would they find heaven and earth treasures? Three-Stone Caves was the king of the Stone Nation's territory. That's right, the king of the Stone Nation. Suddenly, Ningyu seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes began to search the entire Three-Stone Cave. The Stone Nation had occupied the Three-Stone Caves for many years. There was no reason there wouldn't be heaven and earth treasures here. Blood Fusion Crystal. Ningyu released his perception and quickly discovered an extremely precious crystal on the surrounding walls. The Blood Fusion Crystal was even more precious than an Emperor-grade origin crystal. The energy contained within it was enormous. Ningyu didn't expect to see it here. Swish. Moving his feet, Ningyu quickly arrived beside the blood fusion crystal and tried to break it off. However, no matter how hard Ningyu tried, he couldn't move the blood fusion crystal in the slightest. Retreat. Right at this moment, the sapling warned. Without another word, Ningyu stomped on the ground and quickly retreated. Rumble. Just as Ningyu retreated, the Stone Nation and Venerable Bali's powerful attacks arrived and landed squarely on the blood fusion crystal. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. The blood fusion crystal that Ningyu couldn't move no matter how hard he tried, remained unmoved. This situation was clearly out of Ningyu's expectations. Although the blood fusion crystal didn't move, there were some changes to it. The outermost layer of the blood fusion crystal fell off, revealing its interior. What? Ningyu's expression changed. He couldn't stop his body from trembling. Ningyu had just advanced to the initial grade 6 human supreme not long ago. Both his perception and eyesight had improved significantly. With Ningyu's influence, he naturally noticed the small line of words on the blood fusion crystal. Slaughtering heaven and earth formation. Ningyu's pupils constricted. He immediately used all his strength to leave the three-stone cave. In his previous life, Ningyu had witnessed the ferocity of the slaughtering heaven and earth formation when he was in the Earth Supreme realm. It could be said that if an Earth Supreme was trapped in the slaughtering heaven and earth formation, his chances of survival would be close to zero. Has this kid lost his mind? Has he lost his mind? Seeing Ningyu rush into the battlefield, the Stone Nation and Venerable Bali were a little dumbfounded. The aftermath of their battle was terrifying. How could a 6th grade 6 human supreme like Ningyu not only know how to dodge, but also come in and join the battle? What was wrong with this world? Swish, 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 swish. Suddenly, 4 blood-red crystals appeared in the void. The 4 red crystals instantly embedded themselves into the wall of the three-stone cave. Rumble. Chapter 1301. What? Shit. Not good. In the beginning, the Stone King and Venerable Bali thought that Ningyu had lost his mind. But the sudden change left them dumbfounded. The crimson aura in the surroundings made their faces change. Especially Venerable Bali, who was enraged at this moment. He turned around and hollered at the Stone King, "So you've been scheming all along. How bold of you!" Venerable Bali's attainments in spiritual arrays were profound, so he could tell that they were trapped by the spiritual array with a glance. Furthermore, this spiritual array was extremely terrifying. It was the Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array. The Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array was one of the 10 great slaughtering arrays in ancient times. Even with Venerable Bali's attainments in spiritual arrays, he felt a little despair facing this terrifying spiritual array. Even I didn't know that there's a Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array here. The Stone King also felt sullen. As the king of the three-stone cave, he had lived here for hundreds and thousands of years, but he didn't know that there was a Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array here. You didn't know? Venerable Bali looked at the Stone King in doubt. You have to think this through. Once the Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array is activated, it has to be broken within half an hour. Otherwise, not even a greater Earth Sovereign would be able to survive. Venerable Bali didn't believe the Stone King's words. His perception had been on the Stone King. As long as the Stone King wanted to break the spiritual array, he wouldn't be able to escape his perception. As for Ningyu, he had been neglected by Venerable Bali. After all, Ningyu's cultivation was only at the initial 6th grade sovereign realm, and his attainments in spiritual arrays were extremely low. So it was impossible for him to break the Heaven-Annihilating Grand Array. Arg! My eyes! My arms, my legs, what the hell are those? Roar! Retreat! At this moment, Stone Beast and Dan Chi, who were closer to the cave entrance, let out hysterical screams. Whoosh! 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 Suddenly, several crimson streaks shot out. Those crimson streaks were extremely terrifying, and the stone beast and pellet puppet were struck at the same time. The dead were dead, and the injured were injured. Dan Chi and the stone beast, who were fortunate enough to survive, cast aside their previous grudges and worked together to resist the cold, blood-colored light. Then, they slowly moved toward the entrance of the cave. "Stay here and don't move." Seeing Stone Beast and Dan Chi's actions, Venerable Bali shouted loudly, wanting to stop them. However, this was a critical moment of life and death, and the dawn was right in front of them. How could the Stone Beast and Dan Chi give up? "Stone King, quickly tell the Stone Beast to stop there," Bali said anxiously. "Pu-piu piu piu piu." Venerable Bali's voice came to a screeching halt. This was because he saw that there were more and more blood-colored cold lights at the entrance of the three-stone cave, enveloping many pill puppets and stone beast. The blood-colored cold light blocked their eyes, making it impossible for them to see what was happening within the cold light. "It's over, it's over. This time we've really been completely wiped out." Venerable Bali collapsed to the ground and said weakly, "Those cold lights dealt with the stone beasts and pill puppets outside first. Next, they will definitely come to deal with us." "What do you mean?" The Stone King was puzzled. "Those cold lights are the attacks of the Heaven and Earth Annihilation Great Array. They will gradually push forward until all the living beings within the array are refined. Only then will they stop." Since he knew that they didn't have much time left, Venerable Bali explained, "If I'm not wrong, those blood-colored lights will disperse in 3 minutes at most. When that time comes, it will be our time of death." Swish. Venerable Bali's guess was right. 3 minutes later, the blood-colored cold light at the entrance of the three-stone cave had completely dispersed. Pill Puppet and Stone Beast were all dead in the place where the blood-colored light had disappeared. Not a single one of them survived. Plop. Obviously, the king of the Stone Nation was in despair. So many half-step Earth Sovereign stone beasts didn't even have the chance to retaliate. He might be a first-grade Earth Sovereign, but he asked himself if there was any way out. The answer was clearly no. Venerable Bali, is there really no way out?" The Stone King sighed. "We are powerful Earth Sovereigns. There's no reason for us to be trapped here." "Powerful Earth Sovereigns? Haha, let me tell you the truth. Even a high-level Earth Sovereign wouldn't be able to survive this array that trapped us." Venerable Bali laughed bitterly. Swish. At this moment, several cold lights appeared in the void again. The cold lights were divided into 3 parts. The first was to deal with Venerable Bali, the second was to deal with the Stone King. As for the third part, it was to deal with Ningyu. "We can't just sit here and wait for death." Although the Stone King and Venerable Bali seemed a little dispirited, they still burst forth with astonishing fighting strength in the face of death. For a moment, they were on par with the blood-colored cold light. What's going on? Could it be that the array has been idle for years and has loosened? Venerable Bali was puzzled. The Heaven and Earth Annihilation Great Array could adjust the power of the blood-colored cold lights according to the strength of the trapped cultivators. Against Earth Sovereigns, the Heaven and Earth Annihilation Great Array would adjust the power of the blood-colored cold lights to the level of a 5th-grade Earth Sovereign. It didn't make sense for a 5th-grade Earth Sovereign's blood-colored cold light to be so weak. "Stone King, attack the blood-colored cold light with all your might. Who knows, we might have a chance to leave this place." Venerable Bali shouted. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched one of the blood-colored cold light. Crack! As expected, Venerable Bali's guess was right. His all-out attack had actually shattered the blood-colored cold radiance. Seeing that Venerable Bali had succeeded, the Stone King's confidence soared and he began to attack the blood-colored cold light. "Damn it, why are these cold lights so difficult to deal with?" The blood-colored cold light that was used against Venerable Bali and the Stone King was not particularly heaven-defying, but the blood-colored cold light that was used against Ningyu was heaven-defying to the extreme. Even with all his might, Ningyu could not destroy a single cold light. "Sapling, is there any way to deal with these blood-colored cold lights?" Ningyu had no choice but to ask the sapling for help. There is a way, but I need your help, the sapling said. What kind of help? Ningyu asked. Capture the cold lights and put them into the interspatial ring. Drip a drop of blood essence on each cold light, the sapling warned. Remember, you must drip your blood essence on them. Otherwise, even I won't be able to deal with them. Let's go all out. Ningyu stomped on the ground and swung the red demon sword in his hand. In an instant, 2 blood-colored cold lights were forced to the side of the interspatial ring by Ningyu. Drip, drip. Left with no choice, Ningyu forced 2 drops of blood essence onto the blood-colored cold lights. Whoosh! Shortly after, the blood-colored cold lights were wrapped by a branch and brought into the interspatial ring. Keep up the good work. The sapling's voice sounded in Ningyu's ears. This method is feasible. Just follow it and you'll be able to deal with the blood-colored cold lights sooner or later. All right. Chapter 1302. Whoosh, whoosh. Within the storage ring, the sapling continued to refine the blood-colored frosty light with the help of Ningyu's blood essence. If Ningyu were here, he would definitely be shocked. The sapling refined the frosty light and extracted 2 drops of liquid from it. One of the drops was swallowed by the sapling, while the other was fused with Ningyu's blood essence. The frosty light was very special. Each and every one of them contained an enormous amount of energy. The sapling believed that it would be able to recover to its peak state as soon as possible. When that time came, it and Ningyu would be able to sweep through everything in its path. At the very least, the Stone King and the Lord of Bali would be no match for them. However, the current situation required Ningyu to continuously force out the frosty light and drip his blood essence onto it for the sapling to refine. Time was ticking away. 10 minutes passed in the blink of an eye. Whoosh, whoosh. On the other side, the Stone King and the Lord of Bali both heaved a sigh of relief. After 10 minutes of intense battle, the 2 of them had finally dealt with all of the frosty light. What is Ningyu doing? The Stone King and the Lord of Bali didn't dare to relax in the slightest. They turned to look at Ningyu. The Stone King and the Lord of Bali were dumbfounded at the sight of Ningyu absorbing the frosty light. Has he lost his mind? The Lord of Bali thought that Ningyu had lost his mind. After all, Ningyu's expression was becoming more and more unsightly until it was completely devoid of blood. Ningyu, you'd better find a way to destroy these frosty lights. Otherwise, when they explode, you'll be blasted to pieces. The Stone King reminded him out of goodwill. In truth, the Stone King's warning to Ningyu wasn't out of goodwill, but rather because he was afraid that he would be harmed by the explosion of the frosty light. After all, he and Venerable Bali had dealt with the blood-colored cold light in front of them. Now that they had a rare break, no one wanted to make a mistake. Ningyu remained unmoved and continued to quickly collect the blood-colored cold light. Humph! How stubborn! The king of the Stone Nation said coldly. Ningyu still didn't react and continued to collect the blood-colored cold light. The king of the Stone Nation only dared to scold Ningyu verbally, but he didn't dare to go over. Although the blood-colored cold light Ningyu was facing was relatively weak, who knew if it would suddenly become stronger? At this time, it was better to think about himself first. The Stone King and Venerable Bali sat down cross-legged and began to recuperate. 3 more to go. As time passed, the number of blood-colored rays in front of Ningyu decreased. 3, 2, 1. Soon, Ningyu stored all of the blood-colored cold light into his storage ring. Thump! When the last blood-colored cold light disappeared, Ningyu sat on the ground and panted heavily. Success! Not long after Ningyu sat down, the sapling's excited voice entered his ears. Success! Hearing this, Ningyu was taken aback at first, then he abruptly sat up from the ground and exclaimed, You refined all of the blood-colored cold light? Yes, and I've also recovered to my peak condition. As it spoke, the sapling returned all of Ningyu's blood essence to Ningyu. This is your blood essence. I've injected all of the energy contained in the blood-colored cold light into your blood essence. If you refine this blood essence, your cultivation will improve even further. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, several drops of blood essence flew out from the storage ring. Without a word, Ningyu opened his mouth and sucked them all into his mouth. After sucking in the blood essence, Ningyu hurriedly used the spirit transformation technique to refine his blood essence. Buzz. As Ningyu continued to refine the blood essence, his aura also underwent some changes. When Ningyu was at the bottom of the lava, the dark golden blood in his heart flowed, allowing him to successfully advance from a 5th grade human supreme to a 6th grade human supreme. Now that Ningyu was refining the blood essence, his cultivation was completely stabilized. Even his sea of consciousness was loosening. Bang! Not long after, when the dull sound was heard, Ningyu suddenly opened his eyes, and his aura disappeared in a flash. A 6th grade intermediate human supreme. At this moment, Ningyu benefited from the disaster, advancing from a 6th grade initial human supreme to a 6th grade intermediate human supreme. Rumble! At this moment, the entire 3-stone cave began to shake. The frequency of the 3-stone cave's shaking was very high, and the rocks above the cave began to fall. Crack! Moreover, not only did the rocks above the 3-stone cave fall, even the ground began to crack. The cracks on the ground grew larger and larger, until a huge crack appeared. Not good. The moment the crack appeared, Venerable Bali and the Stone King's faces drastically changed, and they hastily retreated. Swish! However, Venerable Bali's speed of retreat was clearly slower by half a beat. A huge palm shot out from the crack, grabbed Venerable Bali, and dragged him into the crack. Crack! Then, the crack closed up, and everything returned to normal. Gulp! Ningyu and the Stone King swallowed a mouthful of saliva at the same time. The huge palm from before made their hearts palpitate. Ningyu and the Stone King could clearly sense that the owner of the huge palm was at least a high-level Earth Supreme. Exchanging glances, the Stone King and Ningyu could see the seriousness in each other's eyes. For a moment, the cave became quiet, and neither Ningyu nor the Stone King broke the silence. Their eyes flickered as they thought of a countermeasure. Sapling, can we leave this place? Ningyu communicated with the sapling. If we stay here any longer, we will face the same fate as Venerable Bali. It's troublesome. The sapling said with a grave expression, if I've guessed correctly, the cultivator underground has suffered grave injuries. His current strength is only at the Earth Supreme Realm, far from the Heavenly Supreme Realm. Ningyu's face changed. Even in an injured state, that person still possessed the strength of an Earth Supreme. So one could imagine how terrifying the other party would be once he fully recovered. You don't have to worry too much. The slaughtering heaven and earth annihilation array is used to trap that cultivator. The sapling continued, if he dares to come out later, you and the Stone King will attack together and make him pay the price. He's trapped by the slaughtering heaven and earth annihilation array? Ningyu was briefly stunned. What a terrifying person to be able to unleash such a powerful strength despite being trapped in the slaughtering heaven and earth annihilation array. Ningyu, I think we should work together, the Stone King suddenly said. Suddenly, the nearby Stone King said in a deep voice, even someone as powerful as Bali was captured by that giant hand, let alone you. What do you mean? Ningyu asked without batting an eyelid. It's simple. I'll give you a Dharma artifact. When the rift appears, pretend to be captured by the giant hand, and when the rift is about to close, give the hand a fatal blow. As he spoke, the Stone King spat out a small stone. Waving the stone in his hand, the Stone King said, this is a stone essence. There's only one in the entire Trirock Mountain. Throw it into the hand of the underground expert and kill him along with his body. Chapter 1303. Chapter 1303. Stone Essence, Stone Essence. Ningyu's eyes widened as he stared at the emerald green stone in the Stone King's hand. Stone Essence was an extremely precious energy stone. Many famous mountains might not even be able to produce a single stone essence, but the three-stone mountain was able to. This truly shocked Ningyu. Ningyu could clearly feel that the stone essence in the Stone King's hand contained a terrifying amount of energy. Once he refined it, he could easily advance to the late-stage, 6th grade human supreme. What do you think? Think about it. This is our last chance to survive. Seeing Ningyu's shock, the Stone King continued, "Don't worry, I'll help you. As long as you throw the stone essence into the hands of the underground expert, he'll definitely die." "How many stone essences do you have?" Ningyu asked. He did not agree to the Stone King's request immediately. "If you can give me another piece of stone essence, I might be able to agree to it. I don't have any more." The three-stone mountain only produced one stone essence. The Stone King shook his head and said, "I was saving this stone essence for my breakthrough to the 2nd grade Earth Supreme. Since we're in danger, I won't keep it to myself. I'll use it directly." Ningyu's face darkened as he weighed the pros and cons. "Say yes." Just then, the sapling's voice rang in Ningyu's ears. Ningyu did not think too much and said, "Stone King, throw the stone essence to me. I'll do as you say." "Not now. I'll throw the stone essence to you when the crack appears again." The Stone King did not trust Ningyu. He said, "Also, I'll throw the stone essence into the crack. Your task is to catch it and throw it into the hands of the underground expert." "No problem." After leaving behind these words, Ningyu no longer spoke and tightly closed his eyes. Losing a stone essence in exchange for half an hour. It's totally worth it. The king of the Stone Nation had a cold expression on his face. The cultivators in the outside world did not know that aside from the stone beast, there was also an extremely powerful demonic beast on Three-Stone Mountain. Three-legged golden crow. A few decades ago, a three-legged golden crow descended upon the Three-Rock Mountain. At that time, the three-legged golden crow was seriously injured. The Stone King mobilized all the demonic beasts in the Three-Rock Mountains to find all kinds of treasures for the golden crow to recover. Decades passed in the blink of an eye. The three-legged golden crow finally sent a weak message asking for the whereabouts of the Stone King. This was the message the three-legged golden crow had sent. The Stone King was delighted and quickly told the three-legged golden crow what had happened. The result was obvious. The three-legged golden crow told the King of Stone to hold on for half an hour, and he would arrive at the Three-Stone Cave within half an hour. The King of the Stone Nation trusted the three-legged golden crow. Decades ago, the heavily injured three-legged golden crow had easily defeated the King of the Stone Nation. When the three-legged golden crow arrives at the Three-Stone Cave in half an hour, I'll be able to leave safely. The Stone King's eyes lit up and he thought to himself, the three-legged golden crow doesn't know that Ningyu has the sapling of the Tree of World. That's my advantage. The entire Three-Stone Cave suddenly became quiet. The silence was extremely terrifying. Since the slaughtering heaven and destroying earth formation isolated everything, not a single breath of air could enter the Three-Stone Cave. As time went by, Ningyu and the Stone King began to feel the pressure. Even though they were peerless overlords, it was still difficult for them to not breathe for a long time. Boom! Suddenly, the ground caved in and a huge crack appeared again. Just like last time, a huge hand emerged from the ground and quickly grabbed at Ningyu. Ningyu's expression changed drastically. He shouted, "Stone King, throw the stone essence to me." "Throw it to you? Are you kidding me?" The Stone King was overjoyed to see the hand reaching for Ningyu. The reason why the Stone King wanted to give the stone essence to Ningyu was that he wanted Ningyu to stall for half an hour so that the hand could deal with Ningyu. After all, the hand's first target was Lord Bali, and the Stone King was afraid that he would be the second target. Now that the hand's second target was Ningyu, he naturally wouldn't give the stone essence to Ningyu. "You're going back on your word," Ningyu said coldly. "So what if I'm going back on my word? As long as I can survive, I'll do anything." "Oh no." The corner of the Stone King's mouth rose. He was about to mock Ningyu when he saw something that terrified him. The huge hand suddenly stopped in front of Ningyu, turned around and grabbed at him. "I'm going back on my word." The Stone King trembled in fear. Ningyu stopped the hand. "I'll throw the stone essence to you." As he spoke, the Stone King flipped his wrist and tossed the stone essence at Ningyu. But, catching the stone essence firmly, Ningyu shrugged. "Go down and accompany Lord Bali." "Ah, you're going back on your word, Ningyu." The king of the Stone Nation turned pale with fright and regret. If he had known earlier, he would have thrown the stone essence to Ningyu instead of waiting until now. Now, he was caught by the huge hand and couldn't move. "It's not that I'm going back on my word. You're the one who broke our agreement first. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine." Ningyu quickly retreated to a corner. "Lord Bali must be lonely down there. If you go down and accompany him, he'll probably be happier." The Stone King was enraged and struggled to break free from the huge hand. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move an inch. Blood sprayed from his mouth. In the end, the Stone King sank into the ground with a venomous expression. Crack! The fissure closed again, and everything returned to normal. Whoosh! At this moment, the sapling sprang out of the storage ring. "Give me the stone essence." The first thing the sapling said when it came out was to ask for the stone essence. "What do you want the stone essence for?" Ningyu was confused. He didn't know what the sapling wanted. "Of course I want to break the heaven and earth slaughtering formation." The sapling snapped. "Thank God you have the stone essence, and the heaven and earth slaughtering formation is already unstable. Otherwise, you'll never be able to leave this place. I didn't expect you to know how to break the heaven and earth slaughtering formation." Ningyu tossed the stone essence to the sapling. "Do you know how to set up the heaven and earth slaughtering formation as well?" "As long as I have enough materials, I can set up the simplest heaven and earth slaughtering formation." The sapling replied, "Our top priority is to find a way to break the formation as soon as possible. We can't stay here for long because I can sense that there's an extremely terrifying being on its way here at full speed." "An extremely terrifying existence?" Ningyu was stunned and asked in bewilderment. "That being is even more powerful than the powerful being trapped underground." The sapling said, "Don't worry about that for now. It's best if you leave." "Not good." The sapling's words came to an abrupt halt. Crap. The sapling transformed into an afterimage before disappearing into the storage ring. Chapter 1304. Chapter 1304. Chapter 1304 Golden Flame. The cultivators underground were extremely powerful. They could easily deal with the Stone King and Supremacy Bali with a single palm strike. And the existence in the outside world was actually comparable to the experts in the underground world. Rumble! Before Ningyu could recover from his shock, the entire three-stone cave began to shake violently. Bang! In the end, a huge beam of light appeared from the top of the three-stone cavern and forcefully blasted a hole in it. Shio! A golden figure quickly emerged from the gap. Three-legged golden crow. Seeing the figure that suddenly appeared, Ningyu's expression changed. Ningyu would never have thought that the expert mentioned by the sapling was the three-legged golden crow. The three-legged golden crow was an ancient ferocious beast with extremely powerful strength. Although the three-legged golden crow in front of him had not reached the peak of its power, it still gave Ningyu a terrifying sense of oppression. "Where is the king of the Stone Nation?" The three-legged golden crow looked around and asked Ningyu. "Down there." Ningyu knew that the three-legged golden crow was very powerful, and it was not a good time to start a conflict with him. As long as the three-legged golden crow did not attack Ningyu, Ningyu would not make the first move. Knitting his brows, the three-legged golden crow's face instantly turned cold. "The Stone Monarch is an Earth Sovereign, while you're only a middle-phase 6th-grade Sovereign. How did you survive and the Stone Monarch was killed?" This, Ningyu did not know how to answer. He couldn't say that the Underground King was powerful, and that was why the Underground King fought him, right? If that was the case, Ningyu was certain that he would die in the next second. Speak! The three-legged golden crow shone brightly and pressed down on Ningyu, saying, "If you can't satisfy me today, you can go to hell in advance." Poochie! Under the pressure of the three-legged golden crow's powerful aura, Ningyu's knees felt sore, and he had the urge to kneel down. Not long ago, a giant palm suddenly appeared from the ground and killed the Earth Supreme in the Pill Cauldron, then the Stone King. Ningyu gritted his teeth and said, "As for why he didn't kill me, it might be because he saw that my cultivation was low and the energy I had was small, so he didn't want to waste time." That seems to make sense. The three-legged golden crow nodded slowly and said, "Go and lure the powerhouse out. I want to see what he's capable of." Gulp. Ningyu swallowed a mouthful of saliva. The strength of the underground expert was extremely terrifying. He could kill the Stone King and the Venerable Bali with a single hand. Provoke him? This was no different from courting death. "I wanted to spare your life, but since you don't know what's good for you, I can only send you to hell." With a low roar, the three-legged golden crow opened its mouth and spat out a golden flame. The golden flame was about the thickness of an arm, and its burning power was extremely terrifying. Sizzle! The surrounding air sizzled as it was burned by the golden flames. Even the void began to tremble slightly. Myriad Beast Flame. At the critical moment, Ningyu flicked his sleeve and summoned the Myriad Beast's Flame. Myriad Bone Flame. After some thought, Ningyu summoned the Myriad Bone Flame and combined it with the Myriad Beast Flame to confront the golden flame spat out by the three-legged golden crow. The three terrifying flames clashed in the slaughtering heaven and earth annihilation array. The three-legged golden crow raised an eyebrow and stared at the Myriad Beast Flame and Myriad Bone Flame with interest. The flames ranked 29th and 30th on the mystical flame ranking. "Looks like you're not an ordinary cultivator." Swish! The three-legged golden crow then recalled the golden flame and said to Ningyu, "Give me the Myriad Bone Flame and Myriad Beast Flame for free and I will spare your life." Ningyu's face darkened. He did not answer the three-legged golden crow immediately. He had already kept the Myriad Beast Flame and Myriad Bone Flame as his natal flame. If he handed them over to the three-legged golden crow, he would suffer great harm. If he did not hand them over, the three-legged golden crow would definitely start a massacre. Things were getting more and more troublesome. If I forcefully merge the Myriad Beast Flame and Myriad Bone Flame together, I wonder if the explosive power will be able to withstand the three-legged golden crow. Ningyu murmured, "Let's do it." Ningyu was not an indecisive person. He immediately recalled the Myriad Beast Flame and Myriad Bone Flame. One hovered above his left hand while the other hovered above his right. "Very well. You're the first cultivator I've killed since I came out of seclusion." The three-legged golden crow's face was expressionless as he said, "I want everyone to know that I, the three-legged golden crow, have once again, however." The three-legged golden crow's expression changed slightly as he quickly retreated. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, the crack on the ground widened once again. When the crack had widened to a certain extent, a giant palm slowly stretched out from the ground. "What? Sky? Sky Supreme!" The three-legged golden crow's expression changed drastically when he saw the sudden appearance of the palm. Although the three-legged golden crow was powerful, his cultivation was far from that of a Sky Supreme. If the owner of the palm had the strength of a Sky Supreme, then the three-legged golden crow might have fallen in the three-stone cave. No, his strength has dropped. He's far from the Sky Supreme level. The three-legged golden crow's fiery eyes quickly discovered the problem. "Humph! I'll chop off your palm. Let's see how you're going to play tricks then." With a cold snort, the three-legged golden crow flapped his wings and a cold light flew out, slashing at the giant palm. Ding! The giant palm did not manage to dodge in time and was struck by the cold light. It was knocked back several feet. Buzz. After its attack failed, the giant palm did not linger. Instead, it quickly rushed toward the crack. Ningyu, follow that palm. The anxious voice of the sapling rang in Ningyu's ears. Ningyu was taken aback at first. Then, without any regard for the consequences, he stomped on the ground and charged toward the crevice at an astonishing speed. Not good. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed slightly when he saw Ningyu dashing out. He barked coldly, trying to escape from me? I'll sacrifice you alive. The three-legged golden crow let out a roar and flapped his wings as he charged toward Ningyu. Whoosh! In the nick of time, a green branch shot out from the storage ring and blocked the three-legged golden crow's path. The World Tree. How powerful was the three-legged golden crow? He knew a thing or two about the World Tree. There was even a giant branch of the World Tree among the three-legged golden crows. However, that branch of the World Tree had completely lost its vitality. The branch that appeared now still possessed a terrifying vitality. The three-legged golden crow was overjoyed. He laughed wildly. I didn't expect to find something as good as the World Tree after coming out of seclusion. This trip was not in vain. Go! The three-legged golden crow's eyes turned cold. He opened his mouth and spat out a golden flame. Compared to the golden flame from before, the temperature of the flame this time was even higher and more powerful. Whoosh! However, it didn't matter how powerful the golden flame was. Ningyu and the giant palm quickly entered the crack, and the crack also disappeared. Chapter 1305. Kun Prung Ferocious Art, damn it! The three-legged golden crow's expression changed. The might of the blood-colored gleam was terrifying. Even though it wasn't enough to deal with the three-legged golden crow alone, it was still difficult for the three-legged golden crow to deal with it in large numbers. To think that a tattered great formation of annihilation would possess such terrifying might. Taking a deep breath, the three-legged golden crow put on a solemn expression. He temporarily forgot about everything else and focused on dealing with the blood-colored gleam. Pooh! The three-legged golden crow pointed out with his finger and a blood-colored gleam exploded. Whoosh! The three-legged golden crow dashed out and swallowed the blood-colored gleam with its mouth wide open. Not bad. Nodding his head in satisfaction, the three-legged golden crow struck out once more to fight against the blood-colored gleam. As a peerless expert of the three-legged golden crow tribe, the three-legged golden crow had a thorough understanding of the great formation of annihilation. He knew that the blood-colored gleam within the great formation of annihilation not only possessed great offensive power, but it could also aid one's cultivation. After all, the energy required to set up the great formation of annihilation was simply too great, and the energy consumed would be converted into blood-colored gleam to deal with the experts trapped in the formation. Bang! At the same time, Ningyu, who was in the crevice underground, felt the world spinning around him, causing him to vomit bile. Ouch! Falling heavily onto the ground, Ningyu's eyes turned white, and his mind became more and more dazed. Wake up! At this moment, the shout of the sapling reached Ningyu's ears. Ningyu snapped out of his daze when he heard that. He looked around in confusion. At this moment, Ningyu was in a slightly spacious room surrounded by darkness. Even though it was pitch black, Ningyu's sharp senses allowed him to detect a peerless expert sitting on a chair not too far away from him. There was no fluctuation of yuan qi from him at all. Voila! Suddenly, several crystals appeared on the surrounding walls, illuminating the originally pitch-black room with incomparable brightness. SSS. The room was bright, but Ningyu sucked in a cold breath. Not far away, a martial artist with disheveled hair sat on a chair with an indifferent expression. The warrior's arms and legs were pierced by a golden flying sword. The most terrifying thing was that there was also a golden flying sword piercing through the warrior's heart. It's a little off. Ningyu's perception was extremely strong, and he quickly discovered the problem. Although the golden flying sword had pierced through the warrior's heart, It was still half a finger away from the real heart. In other words, as long as the flying sword deviated by half a finger, this martial artist would definitely die. I can feel it. You can save me. The cultivator on the chair raised his head, looked straight at Ningyu and said, "Save me, and I will give you a great opportunity." Ningyu said nothing. Ningyu was very clear that the reason why this martial artist did not kill him was definitely because he could be of some help. Otherwise, with this martial artist's current state, he would definitely die. This martial artist's vitality was fading quickly. If he had not devoured and refined Bali and the Stone King, he would have fallen apart long ago. Even so, this martial artist should not be able to hold on for long. He had to pull out the red flying sword from his heart. First, let me introduce myself. I am Koan Pring Daoist. The martial artist on the chair shook his hair vigorously, revealing a slightly weathered face. As long as you can save me, I can swear to the heavens that I will give you a great opportunity. I can even let you directly ascend to Earth Supreme. Koan Pring Daoist stared straight into Ningyu's eyes. What are you waiting for with such a rare opportunity? Sha sha. Koan Pring Daoist's words seemed to have a great magical power, causing Ningyu to move slowly. Wake up! When Ningyu was 4 or 5 steps away from Koan Pring Daoist, the sapling suddenly shouted. Swish! Ningyu immediately woke up and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Sound wave technique. A technique. The old man had just used the sound wave technique and eye technique, causing Ningyu to uncontrollably move forward to help the old man pull out the golden flying sword. Koan Pring Daoist raised his eyebrows when he saw that his eye technique and sound wave technique did not have much of an effect on Ningyu, revealing a hint of doubt. But very quickly, this trace of doubt disappeared. In exchange, it was a look of ecstasy. I can swear to the heavens that as long as you can help me pull out the golden flying sword, I promise to give you a great opportunity. Koan Pring Daoist chose to take a step back. You are currently a mid-stage 6th grade human supreme. Once you help me pull out the golden flying sword, I can give you a blessing and let you directly ascend to a 7th grade human supreme. Also, I can help you get rid of the 3-legged golden crow outside to ensure your safety. In the beginning, Koan Pring Daoist had wanted to devour Ningyu. This was because he had been severely injured during the fight with the 3-legged golden crow, causing his strength to drop by several times. If not for the blood-colored cold light blocking the 3-legged golden crow, the 3-legged golden crow would have immediately charged over and taken his life. Therefore, Koan Pring Daoist wanted to devour and refine Ningyu before forcing the golden flying sword out of his arm. Only then would he have the ability to fight against the 3-legged golden crow and not be killed so quickly. You used your eye technique and sound wave technique on me just now. I can't believe you. By now, Ningyu had already seen some clues. This Koan Pring Daoist could not move for a short period of time. He could not even use his giant palm. Otherwise, his injuries would worsen and he would die sooner. I can swear to the heavens. Koan Pring Daoist said, the heavens' oath has a terrifying restriction on all living beings. As long as I swear to the heavens, I will definitely not dare to play any trick. Ningyu still shook his head and said, don't bother with those empty words. Give me some benefits first, like letting me advance to the late phase 6th grade sovereign realm, or even the pinnacle phase 6th grade sovereign realm. Koan Pring Daoist's face darkened. There was something that could allow a mid-stage 6th grade supreme to advance to the late-stage 6th grade supreme in a short period of time, but it was not in the 3-stone cave. The entire 3-stone cave was only used by a peerless expert to trap Koan Pring Daoist. The truly good stuff had all been plundered clean, and only a few remained. How about this? I'll teach you a martial technique. Koan Pring Daoist said. What martial technique? If the level is too low, don't. Ningyu said with a hopeful expression. Koan Pung ominous skill. Koan Pring Daoist interrupted Ningyu and slowly uttered 4 words. The so-called Kuan Pung ominous skill was created by a powerful ancient Kuan Pung and was known as one of the top 10 ancient skills. Ningyu did not expect Kuan Pung Daoist to know the Kuan Pung ominous skill. How about it? If you help me pull out the golden flying sword, I'll teach you the Kuan Pung true skill. Chapter 1306. The Sandpiper and the Clam Fight Rock Ominous Art. Ningyu's expression changed. The Kuan Pung ominous art was an extremely domineering martial skill, and its power was extremely strong. As for the exact level of the Kuan Pung ominous art, no one knew because very few people had cultivated the Kuan Pung ominous art. If you successfully cultivate the Kuan Pung ominous art, you can even fight against a pinnacle 9th grade human sovereign. The Kuan Pung Jinren tempted him and said, "As long as you help me pull out the flying sword from my heart, I will teach you the Kuan Pung evil art." "You sure have a good plan," Ningyu said. "You have to give me some benefits first, or I will never help you pull out the golden flying sword." Ningyu was no fool. From the golden flying sword, he felt a heart-palpitating aura. This aura was exceptionally terrifying. According to Ningyu's guess, the golden flying sword in Kuan Pung Daoist's heart was not inferior to the red demon sword. Rumble! Suddenly, the room shook, and it became more and more intense. Not good. Perfected being Kuan Peng's expression changed drastically as he said hurriedly, "Relax your mind. I'll teach you the Kuan Pung ferocious art right now." The reason why the room was shaking was because the three-legged golden crow had broken free and devoured all the blood-red cold light. The three-legged golden crow's combat prowess increased once again after refining and devouring the blood-colored light. With the increase in strength, the three-legged golden crow naturally had to deal with venerable Kuan Pung. "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? Ningyu knew that Kuan Pung Jinren was worried, but he remained calm and said, "If I'm not mistaken, you have a Kuan Pung bone on you, and the Kuan Pung ominous art you've mastered is on that bone." Whoosh! Kuan Pung Daoist's face instantly darkened. What kind of freak was Ningyu? Or was the three-legged golden crow outside on the same side as Ningyu? The more venerable Kuan Pung thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. At the same time, his expression changed as he looked at Ningyu. "Don't overthink it. There is no relationship between me and the three-legged golden crow. In fact, that three-legged golden crow is still thinking of how to kill me." How could Ningyu not know what Kuan Pung was thinking? He waved his hand and said, "Hand over the Kuan Pung bone and swear to the heavens that you cannot attack me no matter what. Otherwise, I will not help you pull out the golden flying sword." "All right, I promise you." Kuan Pung Daoist had no other choice. Gotcha! The void cracked and a palm-sized bone flew out from Kuan Pung Daoist's chest and landed in front of Ningyu. "Sapling, check if there's anything wrong with the Kuan Pung bone." Ningyu was not stupid enough to touch the Kuan Pung bone with his bare hands. He began to contact the sapling and let it inspect the Kuan Pung bone. "There's a problem. There's an extremely special medicinal liquid on the Kuan Peng's bones. As long as you come into contact with it, you'll lose a layer of skin even if you don't die," the sapling replied. "Do you have a way to get rid of it?" Ningyu asked. "Throw the Kuan Pung bone into your storage ring." "I'll try." The sapling did not give a definite answer. It only said that it wanted to give it a try. "No problem." Ningyu controlled the Kuan Pung bone into his storage ring. Kuan Pung Daoist saw Ningyu's extremely careful movements and a cold expression appeared in his eyes. However, he concealed this expression very well, and Ningyu didn't notice it. "Can you help me pull out the golden flying sword now?" Kuan Pung Daoist hid the ferocity on his face and said, "The three-legged golden crow will be here in 3 minutes. If I can't recover by then, we will all die here." "What do you want me to do?" Ningyu also knew the severity of the problem. At this time, he could not fight with Kuan Pung Daoist. He had to help Kuan Pung Daoist pull out the golden flying sword first. "If I'm not wrong, you should have the war god body. Force a drop of blood essence out and drip it on the golden flying sword. Then, use all the strength in your body to pull it out. Koan Pring Daoist's words were filled with excitement. His true body had been fixed here by the golden flying sword for hundreds of years, and was also refined by the heaven and earth annihilation formation. All these years, he was lucky that he had a strong will and a strong vitality in his body. Otherwise, he would have died a long time ago. How could he not be excited now that he had a chance to leave? Sure. Ningyu forced a drop of blood essence out and rushed out at the same time, arriving in front of Koan Pring Daoist in the blink of an eye. Drip. The blood essence dripped onto the golden flying sword. Then, Ningyu's right hand quickly grabbed the golden flying sword and tried to pull it out with all the strength in his body. Swish. All of a sudden, an unexpected change occurred. An extremely domineering force burst out of the golden flying sword and sent Ningyu flying. Can't I do it? Ningyu frowned. He was not in a hurry to pull the golden flying sword out for a second time. Instead, he was thinking of countermeasures. Time passed quickly and Koan Pring Daoist was extremely anxious. The three-legged golden crow was about to attack, which meant that he had less and less time. Again. Stomping on the ground, Ningyu charged out. A golden light appeared on his right hand as Ningyu grabbed the golden flying sword and pulled it out forcefully. Green veins popped on his arm. Dark golden blood flowed rapidly from Ningyu's heart and gathered on his right arm. Come out! With a roar, Ningyu grabbed the golden flying sword and pulled it out. Swoosh! Fresh blood splattered in the void. Crack! At the same time, the three-legged golden crow broke through the defenses set up by Koan Pring Daoist and charged in. Without a word, Ningyu retreated with the golden flying sword. The three-legged golden crow was a ruthless one. There was no hope of Ningyu winning against it, and only death awaited him. Three-legged golden crow, how dare you behave so atrociously here? Die! After the golden flying sword left his heart, Koan Pring Daoist's aura surged to an extremely terrifying level. At that moment, Koan Pring Daoist's aura far surpassed that of the three-legged golden crow. A gigantic palm appeared and slapped towards the three-legged golden crow. The power of that palm was immense. If the three-legged golden crow was unlucky enough to be struck, it would be crippled even if it did not die. Humph! You can't even leave your seat. How are you going to fight me? The three-legged golden crow was not afraid at all. With a cold harumph, it spat out a golden flame from its mouth. Chi! The golden flame shone brightly and collided with the gigantic palm. The terrifying shockwave did not appear when the two collided and dissipated quickly. Three-legged golden crow, perhaps we can make a deal. After that move, Koan Pring Daoist did not attack again. Instead, he said, if we continue to fight like this, there will definitely be no way to determine the victor. In fact, we might even be the fisherman who benefits from the fight. As he spoke, Koan Pring Daoist's gaze shifted and he glanced at Ningyu. Koan Pring Daoist's intention was self-evident. He wanted to use the three-legged golden crow to kill Ningyu. After all, he had sworn a heavenly Tao oath not to attack Ningyu. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. You are the first person to injure me since I came out of seclusion. The three-legged golden crow stared fixedly at Ningyu with a gloomy gaze and said, Today, I'll let you know that the three-legged golden crows are not to be disrespected. Wait. Ningyu took a step forward and said coldly, Koan Pring Daoist already knew that I have the world tree on me. He and I set you up. Don't you want to kill Koan Pring Daoist first? After I kill you, I can still kill Koan Pring Daoist. The three-legged golden crow yelled. That might not be the case. Ningyu took a step forward and said loudly, Koan Pring Daoist is extremely cunning. He used my strength to force the flying sword out of his heart. If I'm not wrong, he's trying to force the other 4 flying swords out now. Koan Pring Daoist can fight you just by forcing one flying sword out. From this, it can be seen that once he forces the other 4 flying swords out, you won't have a good time. Furthermore, it won't be that easy for you to kill me. In order for me to hold you back, Kuan Pung Daoist has already taught me the real Kuan Pung Daoist technique. The 3-legged golden crow's expression was gloomy as he struggled internally. He wanted to attack Ning Yu and obtain the World Tree and Kuan Pung Daoist technique, but he also wanted to kill Kuan Pung Daoist first. Alright, I'll believe you this once. The 3-legged golden crow was a little wary of Ning Yu. After all, Ning Yu had made him suffer quite a bit. In addition, the fact that Ning Yu was able to survive until now after being trapped in the Annihilation Array really surprised him. The 3-legged golden crow turned around and charged at Kuan Pung Daoist. Sapling, hurry up and activate the stone essence. We must leave this place as soon as possible. Seeing the 3-legged golden crow charging at Kuan Pung Daoist, Ning Yu's nervous heart eased a little. The battle between the 3-legged golden crow and Kuan Pung Daoist would not end so quickly. This time difference was the only chance for Ning Yu and the sapling to leave this place. They could not miss it. I'm thinking of a way. Don't rush me. In order to block the powerful attack of the 3-legged golden crow for Ning Yu, the sapling broke a small branch, causing its vitality to be greatly damaged. Boom! In the not-too-big room, Kuan Pung Daoist and the 3-legged golden crow were fighting while Ning Yu was dodging left and right. There were a few times when Ning Yu was almost hit by the powerful aftershock. The 3-legged golden crow and Kuan Pung Daoist both had the powerful combat power of a high-level Earth Supreme. If it were someone else, they would have died long ago. There was no way they could have lasted until now. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. Ning Yu dodged left and right in the narrow room and was surrounded by danger. The battle between Kuan Pung Daoist and the 3-legged golden crow was getting more and more intense. Chapter 1308. Attack. Boom. Although Kuan Pung Perfected Being could not leave his chair, he could still unleash a shocking amount of combat power. The 3-legged golden crow did not gain any advantage. On the contrary, the 3-legged golden crow was gradually losing. Kuan Pung Perfected Being, you've completely infuriated me. The 3-legged golden crow's expression darkened after destroying the giant palm that Kuan Pung Perfected Being had conjured. I'll let you know what cruelty is. As he spoke, the 3-legged golden crow opened his mouth and spat out a golden flame. The golden flame that the 3-legged golden crow spat out was so dazzling that Kuan Pung Perfected Being could not look at it directly. Now's the time. The 3-legged golden crow seized the rare opportunity and flapped his wings quickly, fanning the golden flame toward Kuan Pung Perfected Being. Chi! The scorching flames roasted the space until it cracked. You're still too young to kill me. Kuan Pung Perfected Being bellowed and raised his hands abruptly. His sinister eyes stared straight at the 3-legged golden crow as his expression turned extremely ferocious. Go! As Kuan Pung Perfected Being said that, the golden flying sword in his arm suddenly flew out and charged at the 3-legged golden crow at an extremely shocking speed. Oh no! The 3-legged golden crow was not stupid. He naturally knew how powerful the golden flying sword was. The 3-legged golden crow immediately turned its head around and started to dodge. The golden flying sword could even stop Kuan Pung Perfected Being. One could imagine how terrifying its power was. Swoosh! However, it was clearly too late for the 3-legged golden crow to dodge. The golden flame that he spat out was sliced in half by the flying sword. Although the golden flame blocked one of the flying swords, the other broke free and instantly arrived in front of the 3-legged golden crow. Damn it! The 3-legged golden crow cursed inwardly and had to use his sharp claws to grab the golden flying sword again. Bang! This time, the 3-legged golden crow was fully prepared. He did not hesitate to gather all the energy in his body into his claws so that he could grab the golden flying sword. Even though the 3-legged golden crow was fully prepared, The outcome was not as expected. The golden flying sword sliced through the three-legged golden crow's claws. It turned its head and charged at Ningyu. F***ck. The sudden change caused Ningyu to be dumbfounded, and he had a feeling that he was going to die. Could it be that because he had obtained the first golden flying sword, the other flying swords wanted to return to their ancestry, so they flew towards him? No matter what, Ningyu would definitely not sit and wait for death. He hurriedly communicated with the Red Fiend, wanting him to activate the Red Fiend's sword to deal with the golden flying sword. Relax your mind. That golden flying sword was lured here by me. I want to refine it along with him. The Red Devil's voice sounded in Ningyu's mind. Ningyu was even more dumbfounded. In the end, it was the Red Fiend who had seduced the golden flying sword. Since the Red Fiend had said so, Ningyu opened up his mind and allowed the golden flying sword to fly towards him. He lost his mind? To Koan Pring Daoist and the three-legged golden crow, Ningyu's action was no different from losing his mind. That was a golden flying sword that could injure the three-legged golden crow. You, a mere 6th-grade human supreme, did not dodge at all? What else could it be if he had not lost his mind? Good for you. Koan Pring Daoist raised his eyebrows. He was in a surprisingly good mood. In fact, with Koan Pring Daoist's strength, he could definitely injure or even kill the three-legged golden crow. However, he knew that he could not make a move now. He had to endure. The peerless powerhouse who had set up the annihilation of heaven and earth formation had yet to appear, so he could not expose his strength too early. The Koan Pring Bone on Ningyu was his trump card. He had to get it no matter what. Although I've made a heavenly oath not to attack you, this flying sword has nothing to do with me if it attacks you after passing through the three-legged golden crow's claws. Although Koan Pring Daoist was powerful, he did not want to be tainted by the heavenly oath. Otherwise, he would have killed Ningyu long ago and taken back the Koan Pring Bone. Why would he wait until now? I want to see if the branch of the world tree will appear again. The three-legged golden crow stared at Ningyu, wanting to see if the branch of the world tree would appear again. Swoosh! When the golden flying sword was a finger's length away from Ningyu's forehead, it stopped and floated in the air. Ningyu was extremely nervous. He was afraid that the golden flying sword would suddenly appear and stab him in the forehead. Swish! At that moment, the storage ring shone brightly. The golden flying sword in front of Ningyu's forehead changed direction again and flew straight into the storage ring. Open! Ningyu was overjoyed and quickly opened the storage ring. The golden flying sword disappeared into the storage ring under the shocked gazes of Koan Pring Daoist and the three-legged golden crow. How is that possible? This change was clearly out of Koan Pring Daoist and the three-legged golden crow's expectations. Both Koan Pring Daoist and the three-legged golden crow knew how terrifying the golden flying sword was. Could it be? Did Ningyu have a Dharma treasure that could restrain the golden flying sword? Koan Pring Daoist's face burned with excitement. The golden flying sword was the main Dharma treasure that was used to set up the annihilation formation. If Ningyu had something that could restrain it, he could even face that powerful being head-on if he snatched it away. No wonder he was able to pull out the golden flying sword in my heart. Koan Pring Daoist murmured. Koan Pring Daoist had been refining the flying sword in his heart for many years. Although he had expended all of its sharpness, it was impossible to pull it out without some skills. It would be difficult to succeed if he relied solely on Ningyu's war god body. Koan Pring Daoist was too excited earlier and did not think in that direction. Now that he saw Ningyu controlling the golden flying sword again, his mind became active. Ningyu, think of a way to get the other 3 golden flying swords from Koan Pring Daoist. As long as I can refine them, the Red Demon Sword will be able to unleash shocking combat power in a short period of time. At that moment, the Red Demon's voice was transmitted into Ningyu's mind. Ningyu revealed a strange expression when he heard that. To be honest, it was not realistic for him to snatch the golden flying sword from Kuan Ping Daoist. If Kuan Ping Daoist was willing, the three-legged golden crow would not and would definitely interfere. That was because once Kuan Ping Daoist's remaining 3 flying swords were pulled out, his combat power would increase by several times. At that time, how could the three-legged golden crow fight against Kuan Ping Daoist? However, Ning Yu was the weakest here. He thought about it and turned to look at Kuan Ping Daoist, sending a voice transmission. "Can you force the 3 flying swords out of your body and hand them to me?" "What?" Kuan Ping Daoist's eyes widened as he looked at Ning Yu in disbelief. On the surface, Kuan Ping Daoist looked shocked, but he was actually extremely excited. The fact that Ning Yu could say such a thing meant that he definitely had a Dharma treasure that could restrain the golden flying sword. Kill Ning Yu? Join forces with Ning Yu? For a moment, Kuan Ping Daoist was in a dilemma. If he wanted to kill Ning Yu, he would have to pay a terrible price. Furthermore, he could not do it himself. Chapter 1309. Black-robed cultivator, what should I do? Perfected being Kuan Ping's expression was grim as he struggled internally. To perfected being Kuan Ping, his next decision might determine whether he could successfully escape. After all, the expert who set up the annihilation formation was extremely powerful. Let's work together. Before long, perfected being Kuan Ping made his decision. He would work together with Ning Yu. It was too risky to kill Ning Yu. If Ning Yu's Dharma treasure contained a powerful soul imprint and he could not control it within a short period of time, wouldn't he be doomed? Therefore, working together with Ning Yu was the best decision. I can't force out the other 3 flying swords by myself. I need your help. Perfected being Kuan Ping began to communicate with Ning Yu, hoping to reach an agreement with Ning Yu. Perfected being Kuan Ping was wary of Ning Yu as well. Of course, if he had not sworn a heavenly Tao oath, he would definitely not be wary of Ning Yu. How can I help? Ning Yu knew that perfected being Kuan Ping was tempted and asked calmly. Work together. Just like the first time, pull out the flying swords. Perfected being Kuan Ping sent a voice transmission. No problem. As he spoke, Ning Yu moved towards perfected being Kuan Ping. Stop. The 3-legged golden crow was not stupid. Although Ning Yu and perfected being Kuan Ping were talking through voice transmissions, he could tell from the changes in their expressions that something was amiss. Ning Yu wanted to help perfected being Kuan Ping force out the flying swords on his body. The 3-legged golden crow would not let that happen no matter what. Rumble. Boom. Suddenly, the room shook once more and it was getting more intense. Oh no! He's coming! Perfected being Kuan Ping had a horrified expression as he said hurriedly, Hurry, come over and help me pull out the flying swords on my body. At that point, perfected being Kuan Ping could not be bothered with voice transmissions any more as his words landed in the 3-legged golden crow's ears. Who is it? The 3-legged golden crow asked in shock. The shaking of the room not only shocked Kuan Ping Daoist, but also caused the 3-legged golden crow's expression to change drastically. The 3-legged golden crows had extremely powerful senses. At that moment, the 3-legged golden crow sensed a terrifying existence that was about to tear through the void and appear. This change made the 3-legged golden crow very uneasy. A 3-legged golden crow actually came in. Gotcha! The void split open, and a figure dressed in black landed in the room. Ning Yu and the others sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw the sudden appearance of the black-clothed cultivator. Strong. He was simply too strong. According to Ning Yu's speculation, the black-clothed martial artist's strength was even stronger than the combined forces of Kuan Ping Daoist and the 3-legged golden crow. Who are you? The 3-legged golden crow said coldly, feeling very upset at the black-clad cultivator's scrutinizing gaze. Who am I? Hee, you dare to ask me who I am after breaking into the heaven-slaughtering and earth-shattering formation that I've set up? The black-cloved cultivator pointed at his nose and said with a calm smile, "My clone happens to lack a mount. Come, be my mount." "You want me to be your mount? How presumptuous!" The three-legged golden crow was infuriated. It immediately flapped its wings and charged at the black-clothed cultivator. Bang! The black-clothed cultivator pointed his right hand into the air, firing an icy glow that collided with the three-legged golden crow. The three-legged golden crow was sent flying like a kite with a broken string, slamming heavily into the wall. Poochie! The three-legged golden crow spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Its face turned extremely pale. "I'll give you one last chance, be my mount. Otherwise, I'll roast you alive," the black-clothed cultivator said calmly, but his tone was firm. "Gotcha!" The three-legged golden crow clenched his teeth. He was a peerless genius of the three-legged golden crow tribe, yet he had ended up like this. He was first injured by Kuan Pung Taoist master, and now he was being suppressed by the black-clothed cultivator. If the three-legged golden crow tribe were to learn about this, he would most likely be utterly humiliated. "May I ask who Senior is?" the three-legged golden crow asked with glittering eyes. "Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm quite close to the old golden crow. I'm only asking you to be my mount for a few days. I won't hurt you." The black-clothed cultivator waved his hand and said. The three-legged golden crow was astounded. One must know that the king of the three-legged golden crow clan was a genuine heavenly sovereign. If the black-clothed cultivator knew the ruler of the three-legged golden crow tribe, didn't that mean he was a heaven supreme too? The three-legged golden crow clenched his teeth in fear. "I'm willing to be Senior's mount, but I hope Senior won't seal me away." "Why would I seal you away?" "Go away, I have something to discuss with Kuan Pung Taoist master." The black-clothed cultivator was left speechless. He ignored the three-legged golden crow and glanced at Kuan Pung Taoist master. Whoosh! When the black-clothed cultivator looked at Kuan Pung Taoist master, Kuan Pung Taoist also looked at him. Their gazes collided and sparks flew everywhere. Puff! Kuan Pung Taoist master was defeated and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Kuan Pung Taoist master, you're still the same after so many years," the black-clothed cultivator said. "Hand over the Kuan Pung bone and I can spare your life and let you stay here." "The Kuan Pung bone was taken away by someone 10 years ago. It's not with me," Kuan Pung Taoist master said coldly. "It seems that you've forgotten how powerful I am after not fighting for so many years." The black-clothed cultivator took a deep breath and stretched out his right hand. It gradually enlarged and grabbed at the Kuan Pung array formation. Boom! Kuan Pung Taoist also stretched out his palm and touched the black-clothed cultivator's palm. Bang! The two collided and Kuan Pung Taoist master took a few steps back. On the other hand, the black-clothed cultivator stood on the spot and did not move. "You can block my attack and not fall to the ground?" The black-clothed cultivator was surprised. The palm strike that he released earlier on was extremely powerful. Given Kuan Pung Taoist master's current state, something was wrong. Suddenly, the black-clothed cultivator's pupils constricted and his gaze shifted to where Kuan Pung Taoist master's heart was. The black-clothed cultivator clearly remembered that he had thrown out 5 golden flying swords back then, and one of them was stabbed into Kuan Pung Taoist master's heart. The other flying swords might have been forced out by Kuan Pung Taoist master. However, there was no way he could force out the golden flying sword at his heart. No. The black-clothed cultivator's perception was extremely powerful, and he discovered the problem before long. He sensed an extremely familiar aura from Ningyu. The golden flying sword. The golden flying sword must be with Ningyu. The black-clothed cultivator's gaze was cold as he glared at Ningyu. "You were the one who helped Kuan Pung Taoist master force the flying sword out?" **T. When the black-clothed cultivator looked at Ningyu, Ningyu knew that he was doomed. The black-clothed cultivator was even stronger than Kuan Pung Taoist master. It was extremely dangerous to be targeted by him. It's all thanks to Kuan Prung Taoist master. It has nothing to do with me. Ningyu hurriedly distanced himself from the black-clothed cultivator. At this moment, he could not go against him. Fufu. The black-robed cultivator stared at Ningyu with interest. His lips curled up in a smile as he said, "Stop hiding it. I can feel an aura from you. It is an extremely familiar aura." Chapter 13:10. Shocking picture, hand over what? I have no idea what you mean. Ningyu's heart violently trembled, but he maintained his composure on the surface. I'm only a 6th grade middle phase human sovereign, while you're an Earth sovereign. How could I possibly have anything that you're interested in? You won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. The black-clothed martial artist moved, approaching Ningyu step by step. As the black-clothed cultivator advanced, he released some of his aura and pressed it down on Ningyu. Although the black-robed cultivator was only a clone, his strength had reached the Earth's supreme realm, making him extremely powerful. With Ningyu's strength as a 6th grade intermediate human supreme, he was naturally unable to withstand the pressure of his aura. Ka-ka. A crisp sound came from his knees. Ningyu tried hard not to kneel down. Whoosh. The black-clothed cultivator flicked his wrist, and a golden flying sword appeared in his hand. Waving the golden flying sword in his hand, the black-clothed cultivator said, "I don't mind telling you that my flying sword is called the Golden Demon Sword." Golden Demon Sword? Ningyu was puzzled. His flying sword was called the Red Demon Sword, while the black-robed warrior's golden flying sword was called the Golden Demon Sword. Could there be some connection between the two? Hand over the flying sword on you, or I'll send you to hell. The black-clothed martial artist waved the flying sword and pointed it at Ningyu. So you wanted the Red Demon Sword, not the sapling. Ningyu secretly heaved a sigh of relief. If the black-clothed martial artist wanted the sapling, he had no other way. Now that the black-clothed cultivator wanted to obtain the Red Demon Sword, Ningyu instantly had an idea. Red Fiend, how much combat power can the Red Fiend's sword unleash now? Ningyu began to contact the Red Fiend, wanting to know how much combat power the Red Fiend's sword could unleash. I'm not a match for that black-clothed cultivator. Even escaping is a little difficult. Red Fiend said, "If we can devour the remaining golden flying swords, escaping won't be a problem. How much time do you need? I might be able to help you." Ningyu rolled his eyes and asked. Instant. The Red Fiend gave an affirmative answer. "Senior, the Red Demon Sword is indeed with me." Ningyu organized his thoughts and said, "I have a request. Right now, the Red Demon Sword is at a critical stage of its breakthrough. Could you force out a few flying swords from the Kuanping Zhenren for it to devour?" "Sure," the black-clothed martial artist said without hesitation. Then, the black-clothed martial artist quickly waved the golden flying sword in his hand. Buzz buzz buzz. As the black-clad cultivator waved the golden flying sword in his hand, the 3 flying swords on the Kuanping sage trembled continuously. Xiao! 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 Soon, the 3 flying swords left Kuanping Daoist and charged towards Ningyu at a terrifying speed. Xiao! Just as the 3 flying swords arrived in front of Ningyu, the Red Devil controlled the Red Devil Sword to fly out and meet the 3 golden flying swords. "Come here." All of a sudden, something strange happened. The black-clothed martial artist's figure flashed, and he quickly charged towards the Red Devil Sword. He opened his hand and wanted to snatch the Red Devil Sword. "Kuanping Sage, if you don't make your move now, when will you?" At the critical moment, Ningyu shouted. "Kuanping Ominous Technique." Kuanping Sage knew the severity of the problem. He stomped on the ground and waved his hand repeatedly. In an instant, the weather changed and gusts of chilly wind blew. A huge wing tore through the void and appeared, colliding with the black-clothed martial artist's palm. Crack! When the two collided, the black-clothed martial artist's hand broke and dissipated between heaven and earth. Koan Pring Sage's wing did not fare much better. It swayed in the air for a while and dissipated as well. With Koan Pring Sage's interference, the 3 flying swords were all devoured by the Red Devil Sword. Boom! Just as the Red Devil Sword had said, if it could devour the remaining 3 flying swords, the Red Devil Sword's power would increase exponentially. An extremely terrifying aura emanated from the Red Devil Sword, intimidating one's mind. Killing intent. The black-clothed martial artist hurriedly retreated with a gloomy expression. The Red Devil Sword was similar to the Golden Devil Sword. They had both killed several peerless experts, so the killing intent on them was extremely terrifying. The black-clothed martial artist had not come with his true body, so he was wary of the killing intent. 3-legged golden crow, go and snatch that red flying sword. Just because he was wary of the Red Devil Sword did not mean that the black-clothed martial artist was helpless. He berated the 3-legged golden crow, if you can help me snatch the red flying sword, I can let you go now. See, can you change the condition? The 3-legged golden crow could naturally sense the killing intent on the Red Devil Sword. He even stuttered when he spoke. Scram! The black-clothed martial artist did not care about the 3-legged golden crow's life. He kicked the 3-legged golden crow far away. Koan Pring Sage, if you want to live, do as I say. Seeing that the 3-legged golden crow was about to reach him, Ningyu said coldly, stop the 3-legged golden crow, or even kill it. Why should I listen to you? Koan Pring Sage said. If you want to live, do as I say. Ningyu said in a deep voice, the Red Devil Sword can only emit killing intent. It's not very powerful. Once the black-clothed martial artist sees through it, we'll all die. Swoosh. Koan Pring Sage was not a pedantic person. Since Ningyu had already made it so clear, it did not make sense for him to be afraid. Right now, he and Ningyu were like grasshoppers tied to the same rope, people in the same boat. They were bound together for good or ill. Once Ningyu was killed, he would be next. Therefore, he had to help Ningyu. Koan Pring murderous technique. With a low roar, Koan Pring Sage stomped his right foot on the ground. Instantly, the ground shook, and a huge crack appeared, charging straight at the 3-legged golden crow. Oh no! Koan Pring Sage was already more powerful than the 3-legged golden crow. Now that he had forced out the 3 flying swords, his strength had increased greatly. The 3-legged golden crow had no chance of winning against Koan Pring Sage in his current state. Senior, save me! The 3-legged golden crow shouted and turned back to ask for help. You go get the flying swords. I'll deal with Koan Pring Sage. The black-robed cultivator took a step forward and stomped heavily on the crack, forcefully stopping it from moving forward. No problem. The 3-legged golden crow heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the black-clothed martial artist stop Koan Pring Sage. Ever since the black-clothed martial artist appeared, he had become the second strongest person in the room. He could only bully Ningyu now. 3-legged golden crow. Ningyu held the Red Devil Sword in his hand, and dark golden blood flowed through his body. He stood on the spot like a god of war and berated, there are thousands of experts who have died in the hands of the Red Devil Sword. Come if you're not afraid of death. Just as he held the Red Devil Sword, shocking scenes appeared in Ningyu's mind. A white-clothed man holding the Red Devil Sword was hovering above a city, fighting enemies from all directions. Under the setting sun, the white-clothed man looked so miserable. In the city, countless humans looked at the white-clothed man with hope. He was their hope of survival. Gotcha! Suddenly, an arrow tore through the void and pierced straight at the white-clothed man's glabella. Boom! At this moment, Ningyu suddenly woke up. Chapter 13:11. The Great Escape / At that moment, Ningyu seemed to be possessed by the god of war as he slashed down with the Red Fiend's sword. TSK, a mere 6th-grade human supreme wants to fight me? With a weird laugh, the three-legged golden crow suddenly changed its direction and grabbed Ning Yu's neck. The three-legged golden crow did not want to face the terrifying killing intent from the Red Fiend's sword head-on. The three-legged golden crow's plan was simple. Capture Ning Yu and force Ning Yu to hand over the Red Fiend's sword. That was the only way to solve the problem. Cut the crap. Ning Yu's eyes flashed coldly as he disappeared like a ghost. Oh no. As soon as Ning Yu disappeared, the three-legged golden crow's expression changed drastically as it tried to dodge. Crack. However, it was too late for the three-legged golden crow to dodge at such a close distance. A crisp sound was heard. The Red Fiend's sword slashed down on the three-legged golden crow's claw, chopping off one of its claws. The three-legged golden crow let out a hysterical scream. You! The three-legged golden crow stared at Ning Yu with fear written all over his face. The three-legged golden crow finally reacted. It was not Ning Yu who was fighting him, but the terrifying intent within the Red Fiend's sword. That intent was extremely terrifying. It was probably left behind by the first owner of the Red Fiend's sword. Trash! The black-robed cultivator forced Kuan Ping perfected back and rushed over. Fight! Ning Yu's eyes darkened. With the Red Fiend's sword in hand, he fought the black-robed cultivator without flinching. What? The three-legged golden crow's expression changed drastically when he saw that Ning Yu could fight the black-robed cultivator. If even the black-clothed cultivator was defeated, then he would really die here today. Ning Yu, don't get caught up in the fight. I'll break the annihilation formation. Just then, the sapling's voice reached Ning Yu's ears. Ning Yu was slightly disappointed. Ning Yu had originally wanted to observe the battle between the two peerless experts. However, since the sapling already had a way to break the heavens slaughtering earth exterminating formation, Ning Yu had no choice but to give up. Rumble! After forcefully slashing out with his sword, Ning Yu took several steps back. An extremely terrifying pillar of light soared into the sky from Ning Yu's storage ring. Walala! The beam of light was as thick as a person's waist. It was so powerful that it blasted a hole in the heaven-slaughtering and earth-exterminating great array. Go! Ning Yu did not stop. He used a secret technique to escape, raising his speed to the limit. Whoosh! Behind Ning Yu, Kuan Ping Daoist did not say anything. He turned into an afterimage and followed closely behind Ning Yu. Seeing Kuan Ping Daoist and Ning Yu disappear, the three-legged golden crow looked terrified. It did not know whether to leave or stay. Wait for me outside the three-stone cave. I'll be out in a bit. The black-robed cultivator kicked the three-legged golden crow's butt and sent it out of the three-stone cave. It can actually activate the will left behind by its previous owner, as expected of the red demon sword. The black-robed cultivator waved his hands repeatedly, and then his entire body merged into the void. Crack, crack, crack. At this moment, the winds and clouds changed. The entire three-stone cave began to shake as if it was about to collapse. Whoosh! Before long, the three-stone cave really began to collapse. Even the heaven-slaughtering earth-exterminating formation in the three-stone cave was quickly disintegrating. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless blood-colored beams of light rushed out from the broken heaven-slaughtering earth-exterminating formation and entered the black-robed cultivator's body. These blood-colored beams of light contained terrifying energy, and each one was extremely precious. With so many blood-colored beams of light entering his stomach, the black-robed cultivator's body gradually became corporeal. Originally, the black-robed cultivator was only a clone and could only display limited combat power. Now that he had devoured so many blood-colored beams of light, the black-robed cultivator's combat power had increased by several times. He was very confident that if he met Kuan Ping again, he could finish him off in a few moves. Swish! The black-robed cultivator did not linger in the three-stone cave for long. He leaped onto the three-legged golden crow's back and said in a deep voice, "Bring me to Kuan Ping and the rest." I don't know where they are." The three-legged golden crow panicked and said hurriedly, "Don't worry, I'll tell you where to go." The black-robed cultivator said with an indifferent expression, "All right." Since the black-robed cultivator was willing to show the way, the three-legged golden crow could only flap its huge wings and search within 3 Stone Mountain. Sha! Sha! As the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed cultivator gave chase, Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Perfected had already left 3 Stone Mountain. As for the Dark Emperor and Zhan Ba, Ning Yu did not let them follow. After all, the black-robed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow's target was him, not them. Ning Yu told the Dark Emperor and Zhan Ba to think of a way to head to the Qin Empire. He would appear there. The Dark Emperor and Zhan Ba were not hotheads. They knew that they could not help Ning Yu much even if they followed by Ning Yu's side. Therefore, after bidding farewell, they immediately headed for the Qin Empire. "Where are we going now?" Along the way, Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Perfected fled continuously, pushing their speed to the limit. Originally, they thought that they could shake off the black-robed cultivator. Who would have thought that the moment they let down their guard, the black-robed cultivator would chase after them with the three-legged golden crow? Damn it! I have to think of a way to get rid of that three-legged golden crow. Kuan Peng Perfected said fiercely, extremely furious. The three-legged golden crow race had always been known for their speed. As long as there was a three-legged golden crow, the black-robed cultivator could keep up with them. "What strength can you unleash?" Ning Yu said in a deep voice, wanting to probe Kuan Peng Perfected's strength. "What are you trying to do?" Kuan Peng Perfected looked at Ning Yu warily and said in a deep voice, "We're in the same boat now. Are you going to kill each other?" "You're overthinking it. I want to know your strength and be prepared to kill the three-legged golden crow." Ning Yu said calmly, "Let me put it this way. The black-robed cultivator can unleash the strength of a Grade 4 Earth Supreme, I can unleash the strength of a Pinnacle Grade 3 Earth Supreme, and the three-legged golden crow can only unleash the strength of an initial Grade 3 Earth Supreme." Kuan Peng Perfected explained. After all, he was on the same side as Ning Yu, so he had to tell Ning Yu this useful information. "No, they're too strong. There's no way we can kill the three-legged golden crow." Ning Yu shook his head and said, "What we need to do now is to leave this place as soon as possible, or find a safe place to hide. I know of a place." Kuan Peng Perfected's face was gloomy and he said, "It's extremely dangerous there. There are all kinds of powerful demonic beasts, and even advanced Earth Supreme." "Where is it?" Ning Yu asked. "The Empty Secret Realm," Kuan Peng Perfected said. "The Empty Secret Realm?" Ning Yu was puzzled because he had never heard of such a place. The Empty Secret Realm is extremely well hidden. Only those above the Earth Supreme level know of it. Kuan Peng Perfected explained, "With our speed, we'll definitely be caught by the black-robed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow. Why don't we enter the Empty Secret Realm?" Chapter 13:12. Chapter 13:12. Empty Secret Realm. According to Kuan Peng Enlightened, Ning Yu knew that Empty Secret Realm was extremely dangerous. Although Kuan Peng Enlightened had sworn not to hurt him, he would not have a good ending if he was targeted by demonic beasts in the Empty Secret Realm. Whoosh! While Ning Yu was thinking, the black-robed martial artist and the three-legged golden crow tore through the void and caught up again. "Damn it, let's go to Empty Secret Realm." Ning Yu gritted his teeth and said fiercely, "Empty Secret Realm is 20,000 miles away from here. We need to hurry." Kuan Peng Enlightened said and tore through the void, even burning his blood essence to increase his speed. Damn! Ning Yu had the urge to curse. The Emptiness Mystery Realm was actually 20,000 miles away from here. One should know that anything could happen on this journey. Let's go. Although he was angry, Ning Yu did not dare to be careless. He wrapped Yuan Qi around his ankles and disappeared in an instant. Buzz. Not long after Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Enlightened disappeared, The void in the area cracked, and the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed martial artist appeared. They just left not long ago. Continue the chase. The black-robed martial artist stared at the void and then slapped the three-legged golden crow, causing it to shriek in pain. The three-legged golden crow had no choice but to increase its speed to the extreme and give chase. Although the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed martial artist were fast, they could not catch up to Ning Yu and Kuan Peng enlightened. After all, anyone could burst out with shocking speed in the face of death. 20,000 miles was very far. Even Ning Yu and Kuan Peng enlightened, who had vigorous yuan qi, could not reach that distance in one go. Along the way, they stopped from time to time and even killed a few powerful demon beasts that didn't have eyes. Moreover, they caught a few flying demonic beasts as their mount. However, the demonic beasts had limited yuan qi. They could only fly for a short distance before they could move forward. Just like that, Ning Yu and perfected Kuan Peng fled in front while the black-clothed martial artist and the three-legged golden crow chased after them. Since Ning Yu and the others had pushed their speed to the limit, they only needed 1 day and 1 night to complete the journey of 20,000 kilometers. When he arrived at the entrance of the empty secret realm, Ning Yu collapsed to the ground, his body weak. If it weren't for Ning Yu's strong willpower, it would have been difficult for him to persevere in the long-distance, high-speed flight. Gotcha! However, just as Ning Yu and Kuan Peng perfected stopped, the void behind them suddenly split open. You guys are pretty fast. Ning Yu stared at the black-clothed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow as he spoke in a deep voice. Before you is the void's secret realm. The moment you enter, even an Earth sovereign would die. A puny human sovereign like you wants to enter? The black-clothed martial artist crossed his arms and stared at Ning Yu with interest. I'll give you a chance. Hand over the red demon sword and I'll spare your life. Don't be hypocritical. If you can spare my life, then the sun will rise from the west. Ning Yu regained his composure. He and perfected Kuan Peng were standing at the entrance of the Void's secret realm. They could enter the Void's secret realm as long as they moved. Ning Yu believed that the black-clothed martial artist wouldn't dare to act rashly for the time being. Haha, I mean what I say. The black-clothed martial artist smiled, still trying to convince Ning Yu. Alright. As long as you kill the three-legged golden crow, I'll immediately throw the red demon sword to you. Ning Yu toyed with the red demon sword in his hand and pointed it at the three-legged golden crow. Swoosh! The three-legged golden crow's heart skipped a beat when Ning Yu pointed the red demon sword at it. It hurriedly looked at the black-clothed martial artist. The three-legged golden crow was well aware of the importance of the red flying sword to the black-clothed martial artist. The black-clothed martial artist would most likely give up on it and obtain the red flying sword. Senior, Ning Yu is a cunning person. You must not believe his words. The three-legged golden crow panted and said hurriedly, Are you serious? The black-clothed martial artist didn't even look at the three-legged golden crow. He stared at Ning Yu and said, Throw the red demon sword to me first. Once I'm sure that there's nothing wrong with the red demon sword, I'll immediately kill the three-legged golden crow. Haha, trying to get something without risking anything? Ning Yu smiled and said, How about this? We'll do it at the same time. I'll throw the red demon sword and you kill the three-legged golden crow. No problem. The black-clothed martial artist agreed without hesitation. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed completely. It moved its feet, trying to leave the area. Be it the black-clothed martial artist or perfected Kuan Peng, they were both extremely powerful. If it stayed, it would only be a dead end. Come back. As soon as the three-legged golden crow moved, the black-clothed martial artist scolded, You should feel honored to exchange your life for the red demon sword. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I just want to use you as bait. At the same time, the black-clothed martial artist sent a voice transmission to the three-legged golden crow. Doesn't the three-legged golden crow tribe have a secret technique that can temporarily conceal one's vitality? When the time comes, you can just use it to deceive Ningyu, right? Will that work? The three-legged golden crow was puzzled. No problem. I know the patriarch of the three-legged golden crow tribe. I won't hurt you. The black-clothed martial artist nodded and guaranteed. All right. The three-legged golden crow stopped and gritted its teeth. Ningyu, I'll count to 3. I'll kill the three-legged golden crow, and you throw the red demon sword. The black-clothed martial artist looked at Ningyu and said, 1, 2, 3. As soon as the black-clothed martial artist said 3, he raised his right hand and slashed at the three-legged golden crow's neck. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed, and it hurriedly tried to escape. Crack! However, the three-legged golden crow's speed of escape was clearly slower than the black-clothed martial artist's palm. With a crisp sound, the three-legged golden crow was slashed by the black-clothed martial artist's palm. It fell to the ground on the spot, dead. Swoosh! At the same time, Ningyu quickly threw the red demon sword in his hand. It charged at the black-clothed martial artist at an astonishing speed. But the black-clothed martial artist's expression was solemn as he held the red demon sword firmly in his hand. No. It's a fake red demon sword. Suddenly, the black-clothed martial artist's expression changed because he realized something was amiss. The flying sword in his hand was not the real red demon sword, but a fake. It was a replica. Ningyu, how dare you trick me? The black-clothed martial artist was enraged and shouted, I killed the three-legged golden crow, but you, humph, don't think that I don't know that the three-legged golden crow has a secret technique to hide its aura. If I'm not wrong, the three-legged golden crow is not dead yet. Ningyu snorted coldly, clearly noticing the problem. Kunpeng perfected. What are our chances of winning if we fight them now? Ningyu turned to look at Kunpeng perfected and asked. 10%. Kunpeng perfected said. Then what are we waiting for? Let's enter the empty secret realm. Ningyu's pupils constricted. He stomped on the ground and immediately rushed into the empty secret realm. As for Kunpeng perfected, he did not stay idle either. He followed closely behind Ningyu and entered the empty secret realm. Swoosh! The three-legged golden crow woke up the moment Kunpeng perfected and Ningyu entered the empty secret realm. Chapter 13:13. To the Qianye Empire. The black-clothed cultivator's face darkened. Let's go to the Qianye Empire. He felt humiliated after letting Ningyu and Kunpeng Zhenren escape from under his nose. If he couldn't catch up to them and kill them, he would become a laughingstock. As for entering the empty secret zone, the black-clothed cultivator didn't even think about it. Firstly, the empty secret zone was extremely dangerous. A little carelessness could lead to death inside. Secondly, this was only a doppelganger with limited strength. It was only equivalent to a Grade 4 Earth Supreme. In the empty secret zone, he couldn't be 100% sure that he could catch Ningyu. He chose to go to the Qianye Empire because there was only one exit from the empty secret zone, which was the Qianye Empire. As long as Ningyu and the others could come out of the empty secret zone, they would definitely appear at the exit of the Qianye Empire. Therefore, waiting there was the best choice for the black-clothed cultivator. Let's go! The black-clothed cultivator jumped onto the back of the three-legged golden crow and said in a low voice. Swoosh! The three-legged golden crow didn't dare to delay. It flapped its wings and flew toward the Qianye Empire. Shit! Inside the empty secret zone, as soon as Ningyu entered, he felt his vision go black. Then, he lost consciousness. After an unknown period of time, when Ningyu slowly opened his eyes, his expression changed drastically, and he let out a scream. Ningyu was in a very bad situation. At the moment, Ningyu was surrounded by a pack of hungry wolves. The weakest among them was an 8th-grade human sovereign, and there were even 2 half-step Earth sovereigns among them. Bloodthirsty mad wolves. Ningyu's expression changed. It wasn't because these wolves had high cultivation, but because they were bloodthirsty mad wolves. The bloodthirsty mad wolves had always been very united. If one dared to kill one of them, they would go all out against you until they killed you. Of course, the prerequisite was that the person was not particularly strong. After all, even bloodthirsty mad wolves would retreat if they encountered a strong opponent. Hello. Ningyu scratched his head and said, wanting to communicate with these bloodthirsty wolves. Roar! However, Ningyu's action of scratching his head was seen as a provocation by the bloodthirsty mad wolves. The bloodthirsty berserk wolves howled at the same time, causing Ningyu's expression to change drastically. Let's talk. Ningyu did not dare to fight with these bloodthirsty berserk wolves, for fear of accidentally injuring one of them. After all, the bloodthirsty berserk wolves in front of him seemed to have come out in full force, and there seemed to be no end to them. I wonder where Taoist Kuan Pring is. Ningyu began to curse in his heart. Kuan Peng Taoist was the one who suggested the empty mystic realm, so he definitely knew what was going on inside. Since he didn't warn him, it meant that he didn't have any good intentions and wanted him to die in battle. Don't let me find you, or I'll definitely cut you into pieces, Ningyu said viciously, then added in a low voice, that's if I become an Earth Supreme. Ningyu was very self-aware. With his current strength, there was no way he could fight against Taoist Kuan Peng. Roar. Soon, Ningyu discovered something unusual. Although the bloodthirsty berserk wolves looked unfriendly, none of them dared to attack. Could it be because of the Kuan Peng bone? Ningyu took out the Kuan Peng bone from his storage ring and waved it in the air, trying to verify his theory. Whoosh! As expected, as soon as Ningyu took out the Kuan Peng bone, the berserk wolves around him quickly retreated, not daring to come close. It really is because of the Kuan Peng bone. Ningyu felt a weight lifted off his chest. Although the berserk wolves were terrifying, they were still a few levels lower than the Kuan Peng. The Kuan Peng's bones gave the bloodthirsty mad wolf a lot of pressure. How should I leave? Although the Kuan Peng bone had forced the wolves to retreat, Ningyu was still worried. There were so many bloodthirsty berserk wolves around. He couldn't possibly hold the Kuan Peng bone and move slowly, could he? How troublesome. After thinking about it, Ningyu began to communicate with the law of space, wanting it to tear the void and take him away. However, the law of space seemed to have fallen into a deep slumber. No matter how Ningyu called out to it, it did not answer him. Sapling, what do we do now? Since the law of space could not wake him up, Ningyu decided to contact the sapling. These wolves seemed to be guarding something. The sapling was different from the law of space. It did not fall into a deep slumber. Guarding what? Ningyu was surprised. Something that could be guarded by so many bloodthirsty berserk wolves was definitely something good. It might even be some sort of treasure. It's best that you don't act rashly, because those wolves aren't easy to deal with. They're just the vanguard, and there are even high-rank Earth sovereigns within. The sapling warned, not allowing Ningyu to act rashly. High-rank Earth sovereign? Ningyu was finally moved. Although the Kuan Peng bone could withstand the attacks of the bloodthirsty berserk wolves, it was useless against the bloodthirsty berserk wolves at the advanced Earth sovereign realm. Moreover, if the bloodthirsty berserk wolf knew that he had the Kuan Peng bone, it would definitely come out to snatch it. Whoosh! Right at this moment, a huge figure appeared in front of Ningyu in the blink of an eye. 6th grade human sovereign? It was a bloodthirsty mad wolf with a huge body and a terrifying 1st grade Earth Supreme Realm cultivation. The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf frowned slightly and stared at Ningyu. It asked in confusion, "Aren't cultivators below the Earth Supreme Realm not allowed to enter? Why are there so many humans below the Earth Supreme Realm in just one day? Did you come alone?" The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf stared at Ningyu for a while before asking. "No, there's an old man with me," Ningyu answered honestly. "What about the old man?" The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf continued. "We got separated. We entered the empty secret realm together. When I woke up, I found myself here. My companion disappeared, Ningyu said. He wanted to get some useful information from the natives. That's right. It's normal for you to get separated. The Void's secret realm is very special. Everyone who enters will be sent to different areas. The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf waved its hand and said, "You can leave now." Ningyu didn't expect the bloodthirsty mad wolf to let him leave. To be honest, Ningyu didn't want to leave for the time being. At the very least, he didn't want to leave before finding out how to leave the Void's secret realm. What? Do you want to be a guest of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan? Seeing that Ningyu didn't leave, the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf stopped in its tracks and stared at Ningyu with interest. This is my first time entering the Void's secret realm. I want to know how to leave. Ningyu said sincerely. He really wanted to leave. The Void's secret realm was a place that only Earth's supreme experts could enter. As a mere 6th grade human sovereign, he definitely wouldn't be able to get anything out of it. Chapter 13-14. Poisoned, the empty secret realm is extremely dangerous. Only Earth Supremes are allowed inside. I'm just a human sovereign. Wouldn't I be courting death? Ningyu did not hide his thoughts and said seriously. You're interesting. The giant wolf stared at Ningyu again. At the same time, it sent out a part of its perception to probe Ningyu's secret. Buzz. However, just as the giant wolf's perception reached Ningyu, a terrifying light emitted from Ningyu's body and devoured the wolf's perception. This change was clearly out of the wolf's expectation. Interesting, very interesting. The giant bloodthirsty mad wolf waved its hand and said, "Start from here and head west until you reach a city. There's an altar in that city. Climb up the altar and you'll be able to leave." As it spoke, the wolf's figure flickered and flew into the distance. Ningyu, follow him. There's something we need inside. Just as Ningyu was about to leave, the sapling's voice sounded in his mind. Hearing this, Ningyu was stunned at first, then he said in a clear voice, "Senior Wolf, I've just arrived here and don't know much about this place. I wonder if I can wait here for a few days for my master to come?" Whoosh! The huge bloodthirsty berserk wolf instantly stopped, her brows furrowed in confusion. With a gloomy expression, the giant wolf finally nodded and said, "Follow me." "Thank you." Ningyu thanked him and followed closely behind the huge bloodthirsty berserk wolf. It wasn't until they were far away that Ningyu realized how terrifying the bloodthirsty wolves were. Along the way, he and the giant wolf flew at full speed, and the ground was filled with bloodthirsty wolves. There must be tens of thousands of bloodthirsty wolves, right? In the empty secret realm, the bloodthirsty mad wolves are a major race. Perhaps sensing Ningyu's confusion, the giant bloodthirsty wild wolf explained, "Today happens to be a big day for the bloodthirsty wild wolf tribe, so all the bloodthirsty wild wolves in the empty mystery land have come." Did something big happen to the bloodthirsty wolf clan? Ningyu frowned slightly, because he could see some worry in the bloodthirsty mad wolf's eyes. However, Ningyu was very calm. Ningyu and the others finally reached the deepest part of the forest after following the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf for several minutes. In front of Ningyu and the others, there was a very luxurious palace. Ningyu was surprised. The bloodthirsty mad wolf clan actually had skilled craftsmen who could actually build such a majestic palace. "You rest here for now. I'll go get busy." After leading Ningyu to a room, the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf moved towards the deepest part of the palace. "Sapling, why didn't I sense the aura of a high-rank Earth sovereign?" After the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf left, Ningyu carefully set up a soundproof array and asked, "Also, what's so interesting about this place?" "The reason why you didn't sense the aura of a high-rank Earth sovereign is because all of them are in one place and their auras are isolated." The sapling replied, "As for what I'm interested in, just think about it." "Could it be the branch of the World Tree?" Ningyu exclaimed. At the bottom of the Tri-Stone Cave, The sapling had devoured a branch of the world tree, causing its strength to soar to the first-grade Earth sovereign realm. If it could devour and refine a second branch of the world tree, one could imagine how strong the sapling would be. "Wrong, it's not the branch of the world tree," said the sapling. "Not the branch of the world tree? Then what is it?" Ningyu was puzzled. "I've said it before. If I want to increase my strength, I need the branch of the world tree, or rather, I need treasures. Sigh, not to mention treasures, even if there's a branch of the world tree here, it has nothing to do with us. After all, there are high-rank Earth sovereigns here." Ningyu sighed and felt a little regretful. This was the lair of the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan, so even if there were treasures here, it had nothing to do with them. Acting violently under the eyes of a high-rank Earth sovereign? It would be extremely difficult. "Don't worry, those high-rank Earth sovereigns are all poisoned," the sapling said confidently. "The poison in those high-rank Earth sovereigns isn't an ordinary poison. If we don't treat them in time, they might die on the spot." "You're saying that we should wait here?" Ningyu's eyes widened. "That's right, we have to wait here. When those high-rank Earth sovereigns die, we can go out and search for treasures. Wolves are coming." The sapling's expression changed. "Be careful, don't give yourself away." Creak. At this moment, the door was pushed open and the huge bloodthirsty Mad Wolf walked in. However, this bloodthirsty Mad Wolf's expression was very ugly, as if he was troubled by something. "Follow me." The bloodthirsty Mad Wolf waved its hand at Ningyu. "I'll bring you somewhere. Someone wants to see you." "Someone wants to see me?" Ningyu was shocked. "Is there a human in this palace?" "There is indeed a human." The bloodthirsty Mad Wolf didn't hide anything. "It's that human who wants to see you." "All right." Helpless, Ningyu could only nod and follow behind the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf. The bloodthirsty Mad Wolf led Ningyu around the palace, passing many rooms before stopping in front of a luxurious room. "Green Wolf King, could the human you mentioned be inside?" On the way, Ningyu learned that the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf was called the Green Wolf King, the king of the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan. As for the high-rank Earth sovereign bloodthirsty Mad Wolves and the human, the Green Wolf King didn't say much. That's right. The Green Wolf King took out a golden medicine spoon and inserted it into the hole in the room. Crack! A crisp sound rang out and the tightly shut door slowly opened. Ningyu hesitated for a moment before gritting his teeth and walking in. Hiss! As soon as he entered the room, Ningyu sucked in a breath of cold air. There were a total of 5 bloodthirsty Mad Wolves in the room. No, to be precise, there were 4 of them and a human girl. The 4 bloodthirsty Mad Wolves were all around the 6th rank Earth Sovereign level. As for the girl, her cultivation wasn't very high. She was only a 7th rank human sovereign. A human girl and 4 bloodthirsty Mad Wolves in the same room. Ningyu couldn't help but overthink things. Put away your dirty thoughts. I called you here because I have something to tell you. A look of disgust appeared on the human girl's face. Take this crystal ball out and hand it to the current emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire. As she spoke, she took out a crystal ball from her bosom and tossed it to Ningyu. You can leave now. Seeing Ningyu catch the crystal ball, the human girl said coldly, when you see the emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire, he will give you a great opportunity. Ningyu frowned. He observed the crystal ball in his hand but didn't leave. Why aren't you leaving? The human girl said in a low voice. Green Luo poison. Chapter 13:15. Chapter 13:15. Restriction, what? Hearing Ningyu's words, the lady's face drastically changed as she stood up and approached Ningyu. How do you know that we're poisoned by the lush vine poison? The lady's face was unfriendly. One must know that they were poisoned by the lush vine poison, which was odorless and colorless. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't be able to discover it. The man before her was only a 6th grade sovereign, so how did he discover it? Not only do I know that you're poisoned by the lush vine poison, but I also know that you won't live for more than half an hour if you're not treated. Ningyu did not reply to the lady's words as he fiddled with the crystal ball in his hand and continued, I'm curious, if I give this crystal ball to the Emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire, what benefits will he give me? Azure Wolf King, capture him. The lady berated. He might know how to treat the lush vine poison. Rustle. Since the lady had spoken, the Azure Wolf King did not hesitate and immediately charged towards Ningyu. At that crucial moment, an emerald branch shot out from Ningyu's body and came into contact with the Azure Wolf King. Boom! After a single move, the Azure Wolf King was sent flying and heavily slammed against the wall. What? The sudden change caused the lady's eyes to narrow. He's coming with ill intentions. At that moment, the lady's face turned extremely cold. The Azure Wolf King was a first-grade Earth sovereign with incomparably powerful strength. But this youth had easily repelled the Azure Wolf King, which meant that this youth was much stronger than the Azure Wolf King. Roar! After being repelled by a single move from Ningyu, the Azure Wolf King roared towards the sky with unwillingness written on its face as it charged forth once again. Boom! The outcome wasn't any different from before. The Azure Wolf King was sent flying once again. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Ningyu took a step forth as he furiously glared at the Azure Wolf King. If you don't want to die, then come and give it a try. Under the threat of death, the Green Wolf King became obedient. It glared at Ningyu with its large green eyes, its face full of anger. Gotcha! Ningyu didn't care if the Green Wolf King was angry or not. He raised his right hand and threw the crystal ball to the ground. A crisp sound rang out as a message tore through the void, trying to escape from this area. Come here. Ningyu summoned the 10,000 bone flame and caught the message. Good, very good. I have no enmity with you, yet you want to harm me. After reading these messages, Ningyu's expression turned ugly. Because at the end of the message, he saw a line of words, a line that was enough to make him want to kill. Kill the messenger. It was this line of words that made Ningyu want to kill. However, this was still the lair of the bloodthirsty wolf clan. With so many bloodthirsty wolves outside, Ningyu did not want to make a move now. Ningyu stepped on the woman's chest and said, Hand over the thing in the crystal ball and I can consider sparing your life. Stupid trash, you dare to touch me? I'll let me. The woman roared. Ningyu slapped the woman's face, knocking out 2 of her front teeth. I hate being threatened. Shrugging, Ningyu said, This is your last chance. Hand over the thing and I can consider sparing your life. Otherwise, I can only send you to hell. Ah, you're afraid. The woman laughed maniacally. You don't dare to kill me. This is the lair of the bloodthirsty wolves. If you dare to kill me, the bloodthirsty wolves will definitely not let you off. Oh? What's your relationship with the bloodthirsty wolves? Are you their descendant? Ningyu raised his eyebrows and looked at the woman with interest. The woman was furious and spat out a mouthful of blood. I advise you to let me go. My father is the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire. If you dare to kill me, he will definitely tear you to pieces, the woman said angrily. Sigh, this is really difficult. Ningyu sighed and said, I already have so much of you. Even if I let you go, your father will definitely make a move against me. Why don't I just kill you now? Filthy, stupid trash, you will pay for what you did today. The woman continued to spit out a mouthful of sh*t without any signs of remorse. The other bloodthirsty berserk wolves in the room all turned their heads away. They all understood the logic of wolves having to lower their heads when under other people's roof. Ningyu's domineering performance left them with no choice but to comply with Ningyu. Otherwise, Ningyu would kill them all. Since you won't speak, I can only send you to hell. Ningyu shrugged and stomped his right foot on the woman's head. Young friend, please wait. Before Ningyu's right foot landed on the woman's head, one of the bloodthirsty wolves in the 6th grade Earth Supreme Realm hurriedly called out. Ningyu's right foot stopped 10 centimeters away from the woman and looked at the bloodthirsty wolf in confusion. This bloodthirsty wolf was huge and had an obvious scar between his eyebrows. "Young friend, can you give me some face and let her go?" the scarred wolf said awkwardly. "Although she's a bit hateful, it's best not to kill her." The scarred wolf transmitted this sentence to Ningyu through voice transmission. After all, he didn't want the woman to hear it. "Your face is not worth much," Ningyu also replied through voice transmission. The scarred wolf was embarrassed. He gritted his teeth and said, "She is the daughter of the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire, and the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire has a cultivation. I don't want to hear this nonsense." Ningyu interrupted the scarred wolf and said, "Tell me the truth." "Okay." The scarred wolf seemed to have made up his mind and said, "Many years ago, the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire placed some restrictions in our bodies. Our lives are completely in their hands." "But what does that have to do with me?" Ningyu frowned. "She wants to kill me. Even if I let her go, will she be grateful to me? Won't she still tell her father to kill me? Her father is so powerful that he can even place restrictions in your bodies, let alone kill me." The scarred wolf was embarrassed. Since Ningyu had put it this way, it would be useless for him to plead for mercy. However, the scarred wolf was unwilling to die just like that. He nodded slightly at the Green Wolf King. The Green Wolf King had a conflicted expression on his face, but in the end, he also nodded. Whoosh! Not long after, a slightly shorter bloodthirsty wolf came and handed a storage pouch to the Green Wolf King. "What do you want?" "That belongs to the Thousand Leaves Empire and our family." The human woman saw the storage pouch in the Green Wolf King's hand and roared like a madman, "Bloodthirsty wolf, you dare to betray my father? I will kill you all." "Oh no. Young friend, hurry up and seal her mind. Don't let her control the restrictions in our bodies." Chapter 13-16. Detoxification. "It's fine." Ningyu waved his hand, and then stepped on the human woman's head. Bang! Ningyu's foot was extremely well controlled and directly trampled the young woman until she fainted. At the same time, Ningyu sent a wisp of his soul power into the girl's sea of consciousness and sealed it. Done. Ningyu clapped his hands and withdrew his right foot. "I hope you won't disappoint me." "I promise you won't." The scarred wolf was overjoyed and said to the Green Wolf King, "Give him that thing." Swish! The Green Wolf King's face darkened, but he still threw the interspatial pouch to Ningyu. Swish! Ningyu didn't even have a chance to catch the storage bag before a branch shot out from the storage ring and wrapped around the storage bag before entering the storage ring to lie dormant. What the hell? Ningyu was so angry that his nose was crooked. "Even if you want it, shouldn't you at least let me see what it is first? That thing is useful to me. As long as I devour it, I can raise my strength to the 2nd grade Earth Supreme Realm and do you a great favor." The sapling knew that Ningyu was a little angry, so it said, "There are 4 6th grade Earth Supreme Realm bloodthirsty wolves here. They all have imprints in their minds. Don't you want to control those imprints? With 4 6th grade Earth Sovereign Realm bloodthirsty wolf followers in the Void Realm, I believe that you can do whatever you want in there." Ningyu's expression turned gloomy. In the end, he said, "You talk the most. All the good things will belong to you. Let's make it clear in advance, all the good things will belong to me. You can't take anything. Don't worry, this is enough. I won't fight with you for the stuff below." The sapling promised. Cough cough. Ningyu collected his thoughts and coughed dryly. He said to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, "Your bloodthirsty mad wolf clan is a big clan in the Void Secret Realm. Do you have anything more precious?" "Yes, but—" The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf paused for a moment before continuing. "But what?" Ningyu asked. "You have to neutralize the poison in our bodies." The scarred man looked hopefully at Ningyu, hoping to see a positive answer from his face. You want me to help you neutralize the poison? The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf was disappointed. Ning Yu's mouth was agape as he said, "The Lulua poison is a rare poison in the world. How can I, a 6th-grade human sovereign, help you resolve it?" But, at this point, Ning Yu did not continue and kept them guessing. But what? The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf's extinguished anger was ignited once again. "If you have any treasures that can help me cultivate until I reach 7th-grade human sovereign, or peak 6th-grade human sovereign, I can help you resolve the poison in your bodies," Ning Yu said. Whoosh! When Ning Yu's words fell into the ears of the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf, it was like the sound of nature, making him extremely excited. "Are you serious?" The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf asked with a trembling voice, wanting to confirm it. "It's up to you whether you believe it or not." Ning Yu stared at the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf for a moment before continuing. "I just said that there's still half an hour. Now 10 minutes have already passed. In other words, if the two of you aren't able to neutralize the poison in your bodies within 20 minutes, then it's very likely that you'll die. Green Wolf King, don't keep anything to yourself. Bring everything here." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf knew that Ning Yu wanted benefits, so he said in a deep voice. Whoosh! The Green Wolf King's face was filled with unwillingness, but he still left quickly. A dozen or so seconds later, the Green Wolf King returned to the room with several storage bags. "Friend, these storage bags contain all the treasures of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan. They all belong to you now," the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf said anxiously. "I hope you can heal us as soon as possible." Ning Yu didn't even look at them, and directly stored the storage bags into his storage ring. "I can heal you, but I'm a little worried." Ning Yu paced back and forth in the room. "What if you suddenly attack me after I resolve the poison in your bodies?" "Haha, don't worry, friend. We can swear to the heavens that we won't attack you." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf laughed. "That's right, we definitely won't attack you." The remaining 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves also echoed. "All right, have the Green Wolf King guard the door. No one is allowed to enter without my permission." Ning Yu seemed to have made a great sacrifice and said, "Also, prepare a large amount of essence crystals and pills for me to consume." "No problem." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf was overjoyed, and hurriedly tossed a storage bag to Ning Yu. The storage bag was filled with Emperor-grade essence crystals. "You really know how to hide." Ning Yu put away the storage bag, then sat cross-legged behind the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf, and suddenly slapped his hands on his back. As soon as Ning Yu's palms touched the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf's back, the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf spat out a large mouthful of black blood. Obviously, the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf's injuries were not light. If he didn't receive treatment soon, he would definitely be completely corroded by the poison. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Following that, Ning Yu waved his palms repeatedly, and all kinds of hand seals flew out, landing on the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf's back. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf spat out blood continuously, and his face became paler and paler. "Kid, what the hell are you doing?" Seeing Ning Yu's actions, the Green Wolf King was enraged and said, "Hurry up and stop, or else You shut up." Ning Yu interrupted the Green Wolf King's words and said fiercely, "If you don't want him to die, then shut your mouth. Otherwise, I dare not guarantee what will happen." Damn it! Being scolded by Ning Yu, and with the 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves staring at him, the Green Wolf King didn't dare to say anything, and could only curse in his heart. "Little friend, continue, I can feel the poison in my body decreasing." Although his face was pale, the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf was very excited. Because he could feel that the devil's luo poison at the heart area was rapidly decreasing. His suppressed strength was also gradually recovering. Just at this time, Ning Yu stopped. "What's going on?" the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf asked, very puzzled. As long as Ning Yu worked a little harder, the poison in his body would be completely neutralized. Why did Ningyu stop? Don't just care about yourself. If I continue to treat you, the other 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves might very well die. Ningyu moved his feet, arriving behind the second bloodthirsty mad wolf, and did the same thing. For a moment, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was a little embarrassed. However, what Ningyu said was reasonable, so the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf didn't say anything. Instead, he sat down cross-legged, circulated his mental cultivation, and started to try to refine the poison in his body. Chapter 13-17. Opportunity. Pact. Ningyu didn't care about what the scarred berserk wolf thought. He slapped the second berserk wolf's back, causing it to vomit blood. Poochie. Fresh blood spurted out, and the second wolf's face turned pale as well. Due to the previous example, the second bloodthirsty mad wolf did not say anything. Instead, it gritted its teeth and persevered. Ningyu continued to form hand seals. Every time he slapped the back of the second wolf, the latter would vomit a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, this situation did not last long. Otherwise, the second bloodthirsty mad wolf would die from just coughing up blood. Swoosh. Swoosh. Following that, the third and fourth wolves also suffered from Ningyu's attack. They continued to vomit blood, and their faces turned paler and paler. 20 minutes later, Ningyu breathed out a mouthful of turbid air, and an excited expression appeared on his face. "How is it?" the Green Wolf King hurriedly asked. Fortunately, the poison in their bodies was temporarily suppressed. At the very least, it won't relapse for the next 3 days. Ningyu answered. What? Ningyu's answer obviously did not satisfy the Green Wolf King. He took a step forward, looking like he was about to attack. Back off. At this time, the scarred wolf scolded. What a disgrace! The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's words played a big role. Helpless, the Green Wolf King could only retreat and leave the room. Little friend, when can you help us neutralize the remaining poison? The scarred berserk wolf tried his best to remain calm and said, If you have any needs, just tell me. Our berserk wolf clan will satisfy you. It's not time yet, Ningyu said calmly. The most important thing now is to get rid of her. Ningyu kicked the human girl's face, waking her up. The moment she woke up, the human girl let out a hysterical scream. Idiot, trash, you, pa pa pa. Ningyu slapped her several times in a row, and each slap landed on the human woman's face, causing her to swell into a pig's head. Tell me why she came to the Void Realm. Ningyu did not want to talk to the human girl. He sealed her mouth and turned to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf. We don't know the specifics, but it's rumored that she's here to capture someone who's hostile to her, the scarred wolf said. Arrest? Did you catch him? Ningyu was puzzled. I caught her, but I can't see her right now. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was very conflicted. Take me to her, Ningyu said in a deep voice, his tone unquestionable. All right. When one was under the eaves of another, one had no choice but to lower one's head. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf still wanted to use Ningyu to neutralize the poison in his body. If he did not listen at this time, it was very likely that Ningyu would no longer help them. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the others walked in front, while Ningyu carried the human girl and followed closely behind. Sha sha. After passing through the main hall and taking a few turns, they finally stopped in front of a sacrificial altar. Looking at the sacrificial altar in front of him, Ningyu raised his eyebrows and said doubtfully, If I'm not wrong, this sacrificial altar is very special. Cultivating in it will yield twice the results with half the effort. Yes. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf moved his feet and was the first to walk up the sacrificial altar. The remaining 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves and the Green Wolf King also walked up the sacrificial altar. As for Ningyu, after a moment of silence, he also followed. Activate. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf threw a few crystals around the sacrificial altar. Boom. In an instant, golden light shone brightly, and the sacrificial altar shook violently. Buzz buzz. Not long after, Ning Yu and the others all disappeared. When they reappeared, Ning Yu was a little dumbfounded. Ning Yu could feel that there was nothing around him. Small space? Ning Yu asked with a frown. Yes, it is. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf didn't hide anything. He pointed at it and growled, "Break!" Suddenly, the void trembled, and soon, the void dissipated. A bamboo forest appeared before Ning Yu's eyes. The woman she captured is trapped in this bamboo forest. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf seemed to be afraid of the bamboo forest in front of him and didn't dare to approach. What's going on? Ning Yu shouted. He needed to know the exact situation. The woman inside has a powerful weapon that can instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme, the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf said carefully, as if he didn't want the woman inside the bamboo forest to hear his words. Jin Yeming, stop dreaming. Unless an expert surpassing the Earth Supreme enters the Void's secret realm, you can't do anything to me. No. Suddenly, a faint laughter entered Ning Yu's ears. Before the laughter could finish, it stopped abruptly. Who are you? Ning Yu looked over and saw a beautiful figure at the edge of the bamboo forest, coldly staring at him. Does it matter who I am? Ning Yu grabbed the woman in his hand and threw her into the bamboo forest. Jin Yeming, what are you trying to do? The figure in the bamboo forest berated when she saw the woman flying towards her. Damn it! The woman cursed inwardly and stabbed out with the flying sword in her hand. Poof! The sound of a flying sword stabbing into flesh resounded in the area. For a moment, everyone in the area, including the beautiful figure, was dumbfounded. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf was dumbfounded because he felt that something bad was about to happen. Jin Yeming was dead. How could the emperor of the Qin Empire let them go? Although heavenly sovereigns couldn't enter the Void's secret realm, there were many high-level Earth sovereigns in the Qin Empire. The beautiful figure was dumbfounded because she couldn't understand why Jin Yeming didn't resist. Very well. Ning Yu clapped his hands and took a step forward. I can save you, but you have to promise me one thing. What is it? The beautiful figure said coldly. Keep it a secret for me. Don't tell anyone that I'm related to Jin Yeming's death. Ning Yu shrugged and said, especially the emperor of the Qin Empire. Don't tell him. The beautiful figure fell silent and didn't immediately answer Ning Yu. She was thinking about whether Ning Yu was telling the truth and whether Ning Yu was in cahoots with Jin Yeming. She even split her perception to probe Jin Yeming, wanting to see if it was the real Jin Yeming. The beautiful figure was shocked. The Jin Yeming in front of her was the real Jin Yeming, and she just happened to kill it. However, Jin Yeming seemed to be the same as her. She was poisoned. Even if she didn't kill Jin Yeming, she wouldn't live for long. Young friend, you might not know, but the woman inside is called Jin Lan. She's Jin Yeming's younger sister. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf explained in a low voice. Both of them entered the Void's secret realm at the same time and encountered a great opportunity. Chapter 13:18. Chapter 13:18. Chapter 13:18 will get to the point, Ning Yu said in a low voice. He did not look too good. Ning Yu did not want to get involved in the affairs of Jin Yeming and Jin Lan. What Ning Yu was most concerned about was how to cover up this matter so that the ruler of the Qin Empire would not know. Actually, Ning Yu had thought about silencing them. However, many wolves had seen Ning Yu appear in the den of the bloodthirsty wolves. If the ruler of the Qin Empire wanted to investigate, he would not be able to hide it. That was why when Ning Yu learned that Jin Yeming had captured someone, he wanted to come and take a look. He did not expect them to be sisters. This put Ning Yu in a difficult position. Sigh, how troublesome. With a sigh, Ning Yu said, I don't want a third person to know about this. Hearing Ning Yu's words, the scarred, bloodthirsty wolf felt a chill down his spine. He had a bad feeling. Ever since he found out that they had been poisoned by the devil's radish, Ningyu had been very domineering. It might be a little troublesome. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf said, Jin Yiming has a life token in the Qianye Empire. If she is killed, the Qianye Empire will know immediately. If I'm not wrong, there should be a large number of strong fighters entering the empty secret realm. If there's trouble, find a way to solve it. Ningyu said, if those strong fighters enter the empty secret realm, I'm afraid you guys will be the first ones they look for. I promise you. At this moment, Jin Lan seemed to have thought it through. He said loudly, Jin Yiming wants to see my opportunity. If I kill her, so be it. It's no big deal. Aren't you afraid of her father? You should know that her father is the ruler of the Qianye Empire. Ningyu stared at Jin Lan with interest. The ruler of the Qianye Empire is not invincible. At the very least, there are 2 people in the Qianye Empire who are on par with him. Jin Lan said coldly, the reason why Jin Yiming didn't kill me immediately was because she was afraid of the powerhouse behind me. Otherwise, she would have killed me long ago. Why would she have locked me up in the bamboo forest? You seem to have a point. Ningyu did not believe Jin Lan's words, but he did not refute them. It's not just reasonable, it's very reasonable. Jin Lan said, if you want to live, you'll have to listen to my orders. Otherwise, you'll definitely be found by the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire and brutally killed. Haha, our thoughts are surprisingly the same, Ningyu said with a faint smile. He was not angry at Jin Lan's words at all. You want to control me? Jin Lan took a step forward and unleashed her terrifying aura. She looked like she would rush out and fight Ningyu the moment he gave the nod. Don't be angry, it's just a thought. Ningyu shrugged and said, I didn't kill Jin Yiming. Why would the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire come looking for me? As he spoke, Ningyu turned to look at the scarred bloodthirsty wolf and said, I believe that the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire will send people into the empty secret realm soon. Go and spread the news that Jin Lan killed Jin Yiming, and that you've captured him. How dare you? Jin Lan was furious. He took out a flying sword and pointed it at Ningyu. He said coldly, at most, we'll fight to the death. Who's afraid of who? Ningyu, hurry up and snatch that flying sword. I want to devour it. Before Ningyu could respond, the sapling said anxiously, devour my ass. That flying sword is very special. It's not weaker than the red demon sword. If you're capable, go and snatch it yourself, Ningyu said grumpily as he rolled his eyes. Ningyu could sense that the flying sword in Jin Lan's hand was extremely terrifying. Jin Lan looked like a goddess of war as she held the flying sword. Ningyu seemed to have seen that feeling before, but he could not quite grasp it. If I could snatch it, I wouldn't be begging you. The sapling said angrily, that flying sword is a peerless sword. It has an astonishing will in it. If I can devour that will, I can even find out who cut down the Tree of World. What? Ningyu was shocked. Could the flying sword in Jin Lan's hand be related to the person who cut down the Tree of World? Thinking of this, Ningyu stared at Jin Lan with a burning gaze. He looked like he was about to rush over. Lecher. Jin Lan felt like thousands of snakes were crawling all over his body when Ningyu stared at him. It was very uncomfortable, and he shouted, I'm not a lecher. I just want to borrow the flying sword in your hand to take a look. Ningyu voiced his thoughts. You want to observe the flying sword in my hand? Jin Lan raised his brows and said, Come over yourself and enter the bamboo forest. I'll let you take a look at the flying sword. Little friend, you mustn't. Seeing that Ningyu wanted to enter the bamboo forest, the scarred wolf hurriedly stopped him. That flying sword is very terrifying. Once it awakens, it can instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme. The scarred wolf did not want Ningyu to be injured or captured, because their lives were all entrusted to Ningyu. Once Ningyu was captured, who would cure them of the lush vine poison? It's fine. Ningyu waved his hand, indicating that the scarred wolf did not need to worry. Then, Ningyu leaped and charged straight into the bamboo forest. This bamboo forest was a treasure land discovered by the bloodthirsty wolf clan. It was a very special place. If one was trapped inside, they could launch an attack, but their bodies could not leave. Unless the restriction was removed from the outside, it would be useless no matter how powerful the attack was. Swish! Ningyu had only flown halfway when he stopped and waved at the scarred wolf. "Come with me. I'm a little worried if I go in alone." The reason why Ningyu did this was because he was a little worried that the scarred wolf would cause trouble. As for the flying sword in Jinlan's hand, Ningyu was not worried. The intent in the flying sword could injure others and instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme, but it could not hurt him. In fact, it could even help him. This was all told to him by the Red Devil. If he used Jinlan's flying sword as bait, there was a high chance that the Red Devil's intent would be completely stimulated and he would be able to unleash an extremely terrifying move. Killing a high-level Earth Supreme would not be a problem. The greater the danger, the greater the opportunity. Ningyu did not want to give up. Me? The scarred wolf's expression was very ugly. He did not want to enter the bamboo forest and face Jinlan. After all, he was the one who had captured Jinlan with a few other bloodthirsty wolf clans. If he were to face Jinlan now, wouldn't he suffer a great loss if Jinlan used the flying sword to kill him? "What are you doing? Why are you acting so cowardly like a female bloodthirsty wolf?" Ningyu said coldly, looking very dissatisfied. "Fine." The scarred wolf had no choice but to move his feet and follow behind Ningyu. Swish! Swish! Ningyu and the scarred wolf quickly rushed into the bamboo forest. Buzz! As Ningyu approached the bamboo forest, Jinlan's expression changed. This was because Jinlan realized that the flying sword in her hand was vibrating violently as Ningyu approached it. Chapter 13-19. Confrontation. What happened? The flying sword in his hand trembled, causing Jinlan's expression to change drastically. She had never encountered such a situation before. "Stop!" Seeing that the flying sword was about to break free from his grip, Jinlan shouted, "Stop!" Whoosh! When he heard Jinlan's words, Ningyu stopped in midair. He looked at Jinlan in confusion and said, "Don't tell me you're thinking of throwing the flying sword out?" "Throw my ass!" Jinlan berated. "I've changed my mind. If any of you dare to take a step into the bamboo forest, I'll let you have a taste of its power." Jinlan took a step forward and held the flying sword in front of her chest. She looked like she would attack if Ningyu continued moving forward. "Don't worry about her. Getting the flying sword is more important," the sapling urged from within his storage ring. Obviously, the will in the flying sword was extremely important to the sapling. If he could devour the will within the flying sword, he would even be able to understand the battle that took place tens of thousands of years ago and find out who cut down the world tree. "Alright." Ningyu clenched his teeth and pushed his speed to the limit. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the edge of the bamboo forest and leaped into it. Although there was a barrier around the bamboo forest, it did not stop people from entering the bamboo forest from the outside world. If someone wanted to come out of the bamboo forest, the barrier would stop them. Whoosh! Whoosh! Not only did Ningyu enter the bamboo forest, but the scarred bloodthirsty madwolf also followed Ningyu into the bamboo forest. The scarred, bloodthirsty wolf did not dare to approach Jinlan. He retreated to the edge of the bamboo forest and was even trembling. Jinlan had a trump card that could instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf was no fool. He did not want to die at Jinlan's hands for no reason. "I've said it before, as long as you dare take a step into the bamboo forest, I'll let you have a taste of its power." Jinlan's face darkened. He immediately waved the flying sword in his hand and slashed at Ningyu. "Retreat!" The scarred bloodthirsty wolf's expression changed drastically when he saw Jinlan's action. Ningyu was the key to neutralizing the green radish's poison. If Ningyu was injured or died, then they would be completely finished. It's fine. A terrifying light burst forth from Ningyu's eyes. Then, he brandished the red demon's sword and slashed with it. Ding! When the two flying swords collided, a crisp sound rang out. Ningyu only felt the sky turn dark, and he felt drowsy. Not good, it can actually absorb people's minds. Ningyu was shocked. He hurriedly contacted the Red Fiend and the sapling to get them to help. Ningyu knew very well that the reason he was feeling drowsy was because Jean Lan's flying sword had shot out a cold beam. It was obvious that the cold light was the will left behind by the flying sword. "Don't worry." The sapling's joyful voice sounded in Ningyu's mind. Whoosh! Shortly after, the sapling shot out from the storage ring. Its two branches swayed in the wind as it charged towards Jean Lan. "Leave the red demon's sword to me for now." The Red Fiend was not idle either. He controlled the red demon's sword to fly out and collided with the silver flying sword in Jean Lan's hand. Buzz! The two flying swords collided continuously in midair, causing the void of the entire bamboo forest to shatter. The bamboo forest is about to break. At the corner, the scarred bloodthirsty wolf's eyes narrowed. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf never expected the collision of the two flying swords to produce such a terrifying power. He was momentarily stunned. Retreat! Ningyu knew how terrifying the will in the red demon sword was. Since Jean Lan's silver flying sword could contend with the red demon sword, it meant that there was a terrifying will in the silver flying sword as well. After being berated by Ningyu, the scarred bloodthirsty wolf immediately reacted and retreated. Even though he was a 6th-grade Earth Sovereign, he could not get close to this level of confrontation. After all, he had yet to completely neutralize the green radish's poison in his body. Humph! Jean Lan moved. The silver flying sword and the red demon's sword exchanged blows. As for Jean Lan, he was fighting with Ningyu. Rumble! Jean Lan was an early 7th-grade Earth Supreme. His strength was unfathomable, and he was extremely powerful among his peers. So powerful? Ningyu realized how terrifying Jean Lan was as soon as they exchanged blows. Although he was only an early 7th-grade Earth Supreme, his overall strength was enough to contend with a peak 9th-grade Earth Supreme. One must know that with Ningyu's current fighting prowess, he could even confront and kill a pinnacle 9th-grade sovereign. For Jean Lan to be able to fight Ningyu to a draw, one could imagine how terrifying her strength was. "You won't be able to escape today." Jean Lan was furious. He was determined to kill Ningyu. In Jean Lan's opinion, Ningyu was the same as Jean Yemeng. They were both eyeing her treasured sword. When she and Jean Yemeng entered an ancient cave abode together, she was a little unhappy when she was chosen by the silver flying sword. She did not think much of it. Who would have thought that when she arrived at the bloodthirsty wolf clan, Jean Yemeng would suddenly attack, injure her, and imprison her in the bamboo forest. Fortunately, the silver flying sword protected its master and entered the bamboo forest with her. Otherwise, given Jean Yemeng's personality, she would have killed her long ago. Now that Ningyu was also eyeing her flying sword, she was extremely angry and wanted to kill Ningyu. "Why should I escape?" Ningyu forced Jean Lan to retreat with one move and tried to speak in a calm tone. "There's something strange about that flying sword of yours. If you continue using it, it might affect your mind and make you—" "Shut up!" Jean Lan berated and interrupted Ningyu. "Don't try to scare me. That flying sword is my natal flying sword. I've already left a soul imprint in it." Pfft! However, just as Jean Lan finished reprimanding him, he spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his entire body began to sway. Oh no, the will has broken free from the flying sword and is trying to enter her body. At that moment, the sapling and Red Fiend's anxious words reached Ningyu's mind. Upon hearing that, Ningyu's expression turned ugly. Ningyu knew how terrifying such a will was. Back in Cave 3 Stone, He had relied on the will in the Red Fiend's sword to force the three-legged golden crow into retreat. If the will in the silver flying sword entered Jean Lan's body and took control of him, he would become a powerful fighting machine. "Is there a way to stop it?" Ningyu asked in a deep voice. He did not wish for such a terrifying thing to happen. "There's a way, but—" Red Fiend hesitated and did not continue speaking. "Speak," Ningyu said coldly. "You control the will in the Red Fiend's sword to enter Jean Lan's body and fight against the will in the silver flying sword." Red Fiend gritted his teeth and said, "If you succeed, you will devour the will in the silver flying sword and your strength will skyrocket. If you fail, both you and the will in the Red Fiend's sword will be devoured and dissipate." Swoosh! As he spoke, the will in the silver flying sword suddenly broke free and transformed into a shadow that entered Jean Lan's body. Swoosh! At the same time, the will in the Red Fiend's sword left the sword and chased after Jean Lan. "Guard me!" Chapter 1320. Two Wills, Guard. Seeing Ningyu's soul force entering Jean Lan's body, Hong Mo roared and controlled the red demonic sword to hover before Ningyu, guarding for Ningyu. The confrontation between the two wills was no small matter. Under this situation, they couldn't be disturbed in the slightest. Otherwise, all their efforts would go to waste. The slightest carelessness would result in their bodies shattering. It's a pity that the will in the silver flying sword has benefited Ningyu. The sapling was a little speechless. He and Hong Mo had fought the silver flying sword for so long, but in the end, the will in the flying sword had left the flying sword and entered Jean Lan's body. Actually, it wasn't that the sapling couldn't enter Jean Lan's body, but he didn't dare to. Due to the powerful fighting strength of the sapling, there was a high chance that it would trigger the will's resistance if it entered Jean Lan's body. The resistance left behind by the ancient powerhouse was undoubtedly something that could even cause Jean Lan's body to explode. Let me quickly refine that thing. Since there wasn't any benefit here, the sapling turned into an afterimage and returned to his spatial ring. In an instant, the entire place turned silent. Ningyu and Jean Lan stood there like two wooden pillars without any reaction. Even their auras were gradually dissipating. Hong Mo controlled the red demonic sword to hover above Ningyu's head, intimidating the enemies in the surroundings. As for the scarred wolf, he tidied his clothes and nodded his head towards the other wolves outside the bamboo forest to get them to help him break the restriction. Russell. There was a total of 3 6th-grade Earth Sovereigns and a 1st-grade Earth Sovereign outside the bamboo forest. With the Azure Wolf King taking the lead and the 3 6th-grade Earth Sovereign Realm bloodthirsty wild wolves assisting, they swiftly broke through the restrictions of the bamboo forest. Huff! The scarred wolf let out a long breath when the restriction was broken. Truth be told, the scarred wolf was even trembling when the two wills clashed, fearing that he would be affected. After all, the greenweed poison in his body had yet to be resolved, so he couldn't bring out the strength of a 6th-grade Earth Sovereign. Buzz. At the same time, in Jean Lan's sea of consciousness, Ningyu and Jean Lan turned into two small golden figures, one on the left and one on the right. In front of them, two wills, one red and one white, were fighting. It was clear that the white will was the will of the silvery-white flying sword, while the red was the will of the red demon sword. In the confrontation between these two wills, no one could do anything to the other, and neither had the upper hand. "Ningyu, I will kill you." Jean Lan's expression was extremely dark as he stared at Ningyu, ready to strike at any moment. In Jean Lan's opinion, the reason why the white will had left the silver flying sword was because of Ningyu. As long as she could kill Ningyu, not only would she be able to stop the battle between the two wills, but she would also have the opportunity to control the red will. Jean Lan did not want to miss out on such a good opportunity. Whoosh! Jean Lan was not an indecisive person. When she said she would attack, she immediately let go of everything else and charged forward, throwing a punch at Ningyu's head. This area was Jean Lan's sea of consciousness, so she could unleash 120% of her combat power here. Her fist, which contained a terrifying aura, instantly arrived in front of Ning Yu's head and slammed down hard. Block! Naturally, Ning Yu would not just sit and wait for death. He also threw a punch, and it collided with Jean Lan's fist. Bang! When the two fists collided, Jean Lan was immediately pushed back to the edge of her sea of consciousness. How can you be so strong? Jean Lan's expression changed. She did not expect Ning Yu to be so strong. One had to know that she was an early-stage, 7th grade human supreme. Her cultivation level was much higher than Ning Yu's. In terms of soul energy, she was on par with Ning Yu. They were both late-stage 8th grade. No matter how one looked at it, she was not weaker than Ning Yu. Why did Ning Yu have the upper hand in that exchange just now? It's SOSO. Ning Yu did not want to get entangled with Jean Lan. His main task was to cooperate with the will in the red demon sword and subdue the white will, or even devour it. Swoosh. So after answering Jean Lan, Ning Yu leaped and arrived in front of the red will. The red will understood and suddenly burrowed into Ning Yu's body, merging with Ning Yu. Rumble. Ning Yu felt his body tremble. He was very familiar with this feeling. It was similar to when he was in the three-stone cave. Humph. Let's merge too. Jean Lan snorted coldly and instantly merged with the white will. Ning Yu and the red will joined forces, while Jean Lan and the white will joined forces. They fought in Jean Lan's sea of consciousness. At first, the two sides of the battle were still Ning Yu and Jean Lan. The two bodies were controlled by them. In the end, Ning Yu and Jean Lan's consciousness gradually became blurry. The two wills each took control of the main body. The battle became more and more terrifying. On several occasions, Jean Lan's sea of consciousness was almost destroyed. Fortunately, the red will helped. Otherwise, Jean Lan would have been long gone. Hee, I didn't expect your will to still be around. After exchanging a few more blows, the white will retreated and said sinisterly, If you haven't dissipated, how can I dissipate? The red will said in a deep voice. You'll dissipate sooner or later anyway. Why don't we make a deal? The white will said. There's no deal to make. You're all invaders after all. You're destined to be obliterated. The red will refused flatly and said coldly. You want to obliterate me? That depends on whether you have the ability to do so, the white will said sinisterly. Since it was controlling Jean Lan, its tone was rather feminine. Since I've run into you, you can stay here forever. The red will seemed very determined. It suddenly broke free from Ning Yu's body, turned into a shadow, and charged at the white will. The white will also left Jean Lan's body and collided with the red will. Ah! As soon as they collided, the white will realized that something was wrong. Lunatic, you're a lunatic! The white will roared like a madman. It wanted to break free, but the red will began to burn and cast a secret technique to tie itself to the white will, preventing it from escaping. Ning Yu, I'll give you a great opportunity. After Ning Yu regained consciousness, the red will controlled the white will and entered Ning Yu's body. Hurry up! Hearing that, Ning Yu knew what to do. He instantly left Jean Lan's mind and the soul force returned to his body. So fast. Seeing Ning Yu leave Jean Lan's mind, the Red Fiend was a little surprised. The Red Fiend had some understanding of the clash between two powerful wills. It did not make sense for the two wills to clash so quickly. However, since Ning Yu did not say anything, the Red Fiend did not ask. He could only continue to stand guard for Ning Yu. What's going on? Outside the bamboo forest, the scarred berserk wolf was puzzled. As a 6th grade Earth Supreme, although the scarred berserk wolf was poisoned, he could still sense that Ning Yu's soul force had returned to his body. Chapter 13:21. Increase in strength. Should we completely seal off the bamboo forest? The Green Wolf King had always held a grudge against Ning Yu and wanted Ning Yu dead. After all, in the Green Wolf King's opinion, he was the one who brought Ningyu here. If it wasn't for Ningyu, Jin Yeming wouldn't have died, and the bloodthirsty wolves wouldn't be in danger. Offending the ruler of the Qianye Empire was even scarier than offending the palace masters of Emperor Palace and Hundred Flower Palace. The ruler of the Qianye Empire had unfathomable strength. Nonsense, the scarred bloodthirsty Wolf King said coldly. Whether we can get rid of the poison in our bodies depends entirely on Ningyu. If we anger him, will you help us get rid of the poison? The Green Wolf King was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Don't bring this up again. Otherwise, don't blame us for being hostile. Apart from the scarred bloodthirsty Wolf King, the other 3 bloodthirsty wolves also scolded. Got it. The Green Wolf King lowered his head. However, there was a hint of viciousness in the Green Wolf King's eyes. The viciousness was well hidden by the Green Wolf King, so no one noticed it. At the same time, in the bamboo forest, Ningyu's sea of consciousness rumbled as various fragments appeared in his mind. The first scene was a man holding the red demon sword, guarding the sky above a huge city. In the second scene, an unparalleled expert wielding a demonic sword slashed at a towering tree, directly splitting it into 2. The third scene was a chaotic battle. Countless powerhouses fought, and the scene became chaotic. The fourth scene. Crack. At this point, the scene broke, and Ningyu suddenly opened his eyes. Buzz. As soon as Ningyu opened his eyes, his aura shot into the sky. A late-stage 6th grade human supreme. A peak 6th grade human supreme. After devouring and refining the 2 wills, Ningyu felt unprecedentedly powerful. The essence in his body was vigorous and his body was filled with power. His cultivation had also advanced from the mid-6th grade human sovereign to the peak 6th grade human sovereign. You're awake? Suddenly, Ningyu noticed that someone was looking at him. Needless to say, it was definitely Jinlan. Jinlan's eyes were filled with viciousness. If looks could kill, Jinlan would have probably cut Ningyu into pieces long ago. I'll kill you! Jinlan charged out and threw a punch at Ningyu's head. Puh! Ningyu stood where he was and raised his right hand. He opened his fist into a palm and grabbed Jinlan's fist, preventing her from moving forward. Let me go! Jinlan berated. Ningyu shrugged, and then his eyes became extremely cold. He said in a low voice, If you don't want to die, I can fulfill your wish. As he spoke, Ningyu unleashed all of his aura and pressed down on Jinlan. Crack, crack. Under the pressure of Ningyu's aura, Jinlan's knees made cracking sounds. She was about to kneel down. His strength has actually increased again. Jinlan's face was filled with disbelief. Although Ningyu was strong in her sea of consciousness, there was a huge difference compared to now. If the previous Ningyu fought with the current Ningyu, he would lose miserably. Forget it. I won't lower myself to your level. It was only when Jinlan could no longer hold on that Ningyu retracted his aura. He waved at the scarred wolf outside the bamboo forest and said, Open the bamboo forest. I'm leaving. No problem. The scarred wolf did not dare to delay. It immediately broke the bamboo forest's restriction and let Ningyu out. As for Jinlan, after struggling for a while, she followed behind Ningyu and walked out. After the battle with Ningyu, Jinlan had lost her trump card. Her current strength was limited. Even if she encountered a first-grade Earth Supreme or a half-step Earth Supreme, she would not be able to resist. Little friend, when will you help us resolve the viburnum poison? Outside the bamboo forest, the scarred wolf hesitated for a moment before asking the question in his heart. Don't worry, there are still 3 days. Ningyu would not resolve the viburnum poison for them so quickly. These were all 6th grade Earth Supreme bloodthirsty wolves. If any of them recovered their strength, they would be terrifying existences. With Ningyu's current state, not to mention a 6th grade Earth Sovereign Realm bloodthirsty wild wolf, he wouldn't even be able to defeat a 1st grade Earth Sovereign Realm Green Wolf King. This, The scarred wolf's expression became a little ugly. He knew very well that Ningyu was doing this to extort them. Little friend, we've given you all the treasures of our bloodthirsty wolf clan. There are no more amazing treasures, the scarred wolf continued. Don't worry. Jin Yemeng was killed here. I believe the Qin Empire will soon send people over. Maybe they're already here. Ningyu waved his hand and said, based on your estimation, what kind of experts will the Qin Empire send over? It's hard to say. The scarred wolf shook his head and said, but I know that Jin Yemeng is the emperor's youngest daughter, and also the daughter he dotes on the most. Ningyu was silent. If that was the case, the situation was probably more dangerous. It was obviously not realistic to make the entire bloodthirsty wolf clan forget their memories. How troublesome. Ningyu took a deep breath and said to the scarred wolf, do you have any good ideas that can solve this problem once and for all? Frame them. The scarred wolf had lived for so many years, so he was naturally very astute. If this matter couldn't be solved properly, their bloodthirsty wolf clan would also be affected. The emperor of the Qin Empire could do something like exterminating a clan. Are there any other forces in the Void Realm that have enmity with the Qin Empire? Ningyu asked. There's a power that has enmity with the Thousand-Leaf Empire, but, when he spoke up to this point, the scarred wolf paused for a moment before he continued, that power is extremely formidable, and even the Thousand-Leaf Empire doesn't dare to rashly offend it. Get to the point, Ningyu said solemnly. Dan Lin. The scarred wolf took a deep breath and said, that force is the Dan Lin. It's said that there is a high-rank Earth Supreme Dan Lin inside. It's extremely terrifying. Dan Lin. Ningyu automatically ignored the latter half of the scarred wolf's words. The strength of the Dan Lin didn't have much to do with him. In any case, the enmity between him and the Dan Lin couldn't be resolved. Rather than that, it was better to set off early, capture a Dan Lin, and have it kill Jin Yemeng. Let's go. Take me to Dan Lin's territory. Ningyu didn't want to stay here. He stomped on the ground, wanting to leave. Absolutely not. Those Dan Lin are extremely powerful. If we go now, we'll be courting death. The scarred wolf revealed a difficult expression. If you can help us get rid of the poison in our bodies, we can go with you to Dan Lin's territory. All right. Prepare a quiet place. I'll help you get rid of the poison in your bodies. After a moment of silence, Ningyu said, 3-leaf flower, vine root, cow horn hide, several medicinal ingredients came out of Ningyu's mouth. Chapter 1322. Chapter 1322. Chapter 1322. When the plan is out, the dagger is revealed. Green Wolf King, go find these herbs. I'll give you 20 minutes, Scarface said in a deep voice. The mission of searching for medicinal ingredients was extremely important. It was related to whether or not they could smoothly resolve the green vine poison in their bodies, so they couldn't be careless. No problem. The Green Wolf King nodded before turning around to leave. Wait. Ningyu waved his hand and said, let him stay, I can use him. You should go find those herbs. Then, Ningyu pointed at a ferocious bloodthirsty berserk wolf beside the scarred berserk wolf. Alright. Although puzzled, the ferocious bloodthirsty berserk wolf did not stay idle. He moved his feet and immediately left the area. Damn it! A hint of coldness flashed across the Green Wolf King's face, but he concealed it very well. You, come here. Ningyu was naturally aware of the Green Wolf King's little tricks. If it weren't for the fact that the Green Wolf King still had some use, Ningyu would have long since gotten rid of it. There was no way he would have let it live until now. When dealing with enemies, one had to forcefully suppress and kill them so that they wouldn't have any room to resist. What is it? The Green Wolf King suppressed the killing intent in its heart and came before Ningyu. Adjust your mental state to the best. I can use you at any time. After leaving behind these words, Ningyu went to another place, sat down cross-legged, and closed his eyes to rest. The Green Wolf King's face turned ashen. Ningyu was clearly doing this to take revenge on him. This made him want to kill Ningyu even more. Ningyu couldn't care less about what the Green Wolf King was thinking. Right now, he was focused on recovering and adjusting his mental state to its peak. Sha sha. In the blink of an eye, 20 minutes had passed. The ferocious, bloodthirsty berserk wolf tore through space and appeared in this area. In its hand was a bag of holding. Whoosh. Throwing the storage bag to Ningyu, the bloodthirsty mad wolf said, "There are 4 sets of herbs inside. Alright, Green Wolf King, I'll give you these medicinal ingredients. Refine them in the shortest time possible. Remember, there can't be any impurities." After receiving the storage pouch, Ningyu picked out a few precious herbs and tossed them to the Green Wolf King. "If you dare to be careless and make a mistake, don't blame me." The Green Wolf King gritted its teeth in anger, but there was nothing it could do. In the bloodthirsty wolf clan, he had accidentally eaten a special fruit, causing his soul power to not be weak. Although he was far from being comparable to Ningyu, he was still capable of refining medicinal herbs. "You better not fall into my hands later." The Azure Wolf King divided the medicinal ingredients in the storage pouch into 4 equal portions and suspended them above its head before beginning to refine them. Buzz. The Green Wolf King was quite powerful. In just 5 minutes, it had completely refined one of the ingredients without any impurities. "Let's begin. Let's start with you." Ningyu received a portion of the pure medicinal liquid, and with a flicker of his body, he appeared behind the ferocious, bloodthirsty mad wolf. "Sit down," Ningyu shouted in a low voice. The ferocious mad wolf king did not dare to delay and immediately sat down. Ningyu's hands formed a series of hand seals before he suddenly slapped the ferocious mad wolf's back. Poochie! This slap from Ningyu was very powerful, and even contained a terrifying fluctuation of yuan qi. The ferocious mad wolf king was caught off guard and directly vomited a mouthful of blood. However, the color of the blood was not red, but black. "You dare injure me?" Although the Green Wolf King was refining the medicinal ingredients, his gaze was fixed on Ningyu. When he saw the ferocious Mad Wolf King vomit blood, he immediately gave up on refining the medicinal ingredients and attacked Ningyu. Impudent! Before Ningyu could make a move, the ferocious Mad Wolf King roared, "Stop! Do you want to die?" The ferocious Mad Wolf King was infuriated. He had indeed vomited blood, but the blood he vomited was black in color. In other words, his injuries were improving, and the viridian poison in his body was being forced out. If he was disturbed at this time and Ningyu flew into a rage, wouldn't he be finished? The Green Wolf King was instantly speechless after being berated by the ferocious Mad Wolf King. He did want to teach Ningyu a lesson, but he did not dare to kill Ningyu for the time being. "What me? Hurry up and refine the medicinal ingredient." Ningyu definitely had a temper. He said coldly, "I need a second batch of refined medicinal liquid in 5 minutes. After saying this, Ningyu's right hand slapped the ferocious Mad Wolf King's back again and forcefully injected the refined medicinal liquid into the ferocious Mad Wolf King's body. PFFF, 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 the ferocious Mad Wolf King only felt a sharp pain in his heart before vomiting several mouthfuls of black blood. After the 3-minute buffer period, the ferocious Mad Wolf King let out a long breath, and his face revealed a joyful expression. He could feel that all the viridian poison in his body had been completely expelled. The current him was filled with energy, and could unleash the combat strength of a peak 6th grade sovereign. Next, Ningyu did not care about what level of combat strength the ferocious Mad Wolf King had right now. He immediately started to help the scarred ferocious wolf neutralize the viridian poison. Because the viridian poison in the ferocious Mad Wolf King's body had been neutralized, the current Green Wolf King did not dare to be the slightest bit slow. He hurriedly threw the second batch of medicinal liquid to Ningyu. Grabbing the second batch of medicinal liquid, Ningyu sat cross-legged behind the scarred ferocious wolf, formed a seal with his right hand and suddenly slapped out. Poochie! The scarred ferocious wolf vomited several mouthfuls of blood with the same action, and its aura rapidly strengthened. A few minutes later, the scarred ferocious wolf also recovered to its peak state, and the viridian poison in its body was completely neutralized. Following that, the third and fourth bloodthirsty Mad Wolf King were treated equally by Ningyu, helping them with all his strength. From start to finish, roughly an hour had passed. Whoosh! When Ningyu slowly let out a turbid breath, the 4 Earth Supreme-level bloodthirsty Mad Wolves all recovered to their peak state. Boom! 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 At this moment, the auras of the 4 bloodthirsty Mad Wolves soared into the sky, extremely shocking. Ningyu crossed his arms in front of his chest, not the slightest bit affected by the 4 terrifying auras. For a moment, the scene became strange. I feel that we should reconcile with the Qianya Empire. Before long, the Green Wolf King took a step forward and said in a low voice, "We didn't kill Golden Leaf Dream. It's a little unreasonable for us to take the blame like this." Ningyu did not speak, nor did he make any response. Ancestors, I believe you are very clear about the strength of the Qianya Empire. If we become enemies with the Qianya Empire, we will definitely be annihilated by them. In order to convince the scarred ferocious wolf and the others, the Green Wolf King continued. Right now, we can only bury the hatchet with the Qianya Empire. Otherwise, our bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan will be finished. Cough, cough. At this moment, a thinner and smaller bloodthirsty Mad Wolf coughed twice and said, "I agree with the Green Wolf King. The bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan cannot be annihilated because of us." Chapter 13:23. Resist. The skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf's words had already revealed Sima Zhao's intentions. However, Ningyu still looked calm and did not respond at all. "Do it!" The skinny bloodlust Mad Wolf roared at the Green Wolf King. Whoosh! The Green Wolf King understood and charged at Ningyu at an astonishing speed. "Ningyu, I've always found you an eyesore. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll send you to hell today." The enraged Green Wolf King unleashed all of its aura toward Ningyu. The Green Wolf King didn't hold back in this attack. It was at an unprecedented peak. "Is this what you want?" Ningyu didn't look at the Green Wolf King. Instead, he looked at the scarred and ferocious wolves. The scarred and ferocious wolves opened their mouths as if they wanted to say something. However, they swallowed their words when they saw the determination in the other 2 wolves' eyes. "All right, I understand." Ningyu nodded. "What do you know? You won't be able to escape today." Right at this moment, the Azure Wolf King had already arrived beside Ningyu. Its huge front paw viciously swiped at Ningyu. Crack, crack. The wolf's claws whistled through the air, shattering the space around them. All sorts of spatial fragments flew everywhere in the area. "Why should I run?" The corner of Ningyu's lips curled up as he smiled at the Green Wolf King. "I wanted to keep you as my mount, but since you want to die so badly, I have no choice but to fulfill your wish. Kill." The Green Wolf King was enraged as its front paw descended. In the blink of an eye, it was only a finger away from Ningyu's head. Whoosh! A dark green branch suddenly shot out from the storage ring. The branch was extremely fast as it wrapped itself around the Green Wolf King's front paw. Crack! The Green Wolf King's front paw was torn off. A blood-curdling scream rang out from the Green Wolf King's mouth. "I gave you face, but you don't want it. You're courting death." Ningyu took a step forward and slashed down with the red demon sword in his hand. Hua! A massive sword projection detached itself from the red demon sword and slashed at the Green Wolf King's neck. After reaching the pinnacle 6th grade sovereign realm, Ningyu's fighting prowess had improved greatly. Although he still couldn't contend against a grade 1 Earth sovereign, Ningyu could still bully an injured grade 1 Earth sovereign like the Green Wolf King. "Save me, ancestor!" The Azure Wolf King let out a hysterical howl just as it was about to be struck by the sword projection. "Brat, you're courting death." The skinny, bloodthirsty berserk wolf made his move. In an instant, he dashed out and transformed into his human form. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched at the sword ray in midair. Rumble! This punch from the skinny, bloodthirsty berserk wolf was extremely powerful, directly splitting the sword light in half. "Patriarch, kill him!" The Green Wolf King continued to howl. In fact, the Green Wolf King had already been injured by the sapling back in the hall, so he knew that he wasn't a match for Ningyu. The reason why he attacked was because the skinny berserk Wolf King wanted him to test Ningyu's strength. The Green Wolf King's original intention was to launch a sneak attack on Ningyu, not to fight Ningyu head-on. "It's fine." The skinny berserk Wolf King waved his hand confidently and said, "Brat, if I'm not wrong, the branch in your storage ring is at most equivalent to a Grade 2 Earth Sovereign. I'm a Grade 6 Earth Sovereign, so how are you going to fight me?" "Is that so?" Ningyu maintained his composure and said, "You're old, your eyes are blurry, and your senses are weak. You're not fit to live in this world anymore." Thump! For some reason, the scarred Berserk Wolf King and the ferocious Berserk Wolf King felt their hearts skip a beat when they heard Ningyu's words. However, since the skinny Berserk Wolf King had the upper hand, they couldn't say anything and could only remain silent. "Ah!" The skinny Berserk Wolf King raised his head and laughed, then said coldly, "I'll show you if I'm old or not." With that, the aura of the skinny Berserk Wolf King soared into the sky and pressed down on Ningyu. The skinny Berserk Wolf King's intention was clear. He wanted to crush Ningyu with his aura so that he wouldn't hurt the branch in his storage ring. The skinny Berserk Wolf King was very interested in the branch and wanted to study it. Poochie! All of a sudden, the skinny Berserk Wolf King's eyes were filled with fear. He felt a sweetness in his throat and spat out a mouthful of blood. Swish! This change caused everyone, including the scarred, bloodthirsty Mad Wolf, to reveal an expression of shock. "Sigh, you didn't believe me when I told you that you're old. You're indeed old. There's no longer a stage for you in this world." Ningyu sighed softly. "An old berserk wolf like you should find a place to retire. Don't come out and embarrass yourself." Poochie! The skinny Berserk Wolf King spat out another mouthful of blood when he heard Ningyu's words. At the same time he roared, "I'll tear you apart." As he spoke, the skinny Berserk Wolf King pointed at the air and slapped Ningyu with his hand. "I'll help you." As soon as the skinny Berserk Wolf King charged out, another Berserk Wolf with bigger eyes also moved quickly and followed closely behind. "You're courting death." Ningyu's eyes flashed with a bright light. At that moment, Ningyu was completely enraged. He had already given the skinny Berserk Wolf a chance, but it did not know how to cherish it. Since that was the case, he could only send them on their way. Waving his hands repeatedly, Ningyu bellowed, "Break!" Crack! Crack! As Ningyu's words rang out, the expressions of the skinny Berserk Wolf King and the big-eyed Berserk Wolf King changed drastically as they stopped in midair. "Oh no, the seal is about to break." The skinny Berserk Wolf King turned pale with fright and fear. How did it break? Did the Thousand Leaf Empire's experts appear nearby and discover that Jinya Meng died here? The big-eyed Berserk Wolf King unleashed his perception, wanting to probe the surroundings. Crack! 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 No one responded to them. The only thing that answered them was the continuous cracking sounds coming from their bodies. The scarred Berserk Wolf King and the ferocious Berserk Wolf King had ugly expressions on their faces. At the same time, they felt their hearts palpitate. Up until now, they were basically certain that Ningyu had done something to their bodies to control the seal. Originally, they thought that they could do whatever they wanted and control Ningyu's life after the poison in their bodies was neutralized. Who would have thought that Ningyu had already prepared a backup plan? Ningyu, I wonder if, seeing the dissatisfaction on the faces of the skinny Berserk Wolf King and the big-eyed Berserk Wolf King, the scarred Berserk Wolf King gritted his teeth and turned to Ningyu for help. There's no need to say anything more. Ningyu waved his hand and said in a deep voice, I've made up my mind. Hearing that, the scarred Berserk Wolf King had a bitter expression. Everything was the skinny Berserk Wolf King and the big-eyed Berserk Wolf King's fault, which was why they ended up like this. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.